Hey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons. This week we have most of the party back, and we will have the entire party back later on in time and space and whatever way things
Potentially
exist.
like 10 to 20 minutes. I think she just got off work.
So there we go. We will have the full party tonight.
To give Eli a heart attack with a...
It's okay. We'll
Yeah.
we'll just go on a quick break to sort that out then, so we're not scuffing it about on screen.
That's it.
Saves
Do I
me
sound okay, by the way?
editing and post.
I just heard myself and it sounds really muffled weirdly.
No, you sound same as you always do.
Okay.
Anyone
no
in chat? No.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay. So, yes, everybody will be back here later. Everybody will be back later on. Does anybody have anything to promote? I know we had Eurlinace there on Friday, which if you didn't
enjoy
see,
that?
it was very, very fun. I really enjoyed being a player.
Are you with us, Chris? You look lost.
hang on just a second. I got a quick phone call. My bad. Do other people, and then I'll do the thing.
It was about you, but okay. Yes, Eurolinace will be on most Fridays. Fatherhood and looking after Alaska dependent, I guess. Both equally full-time jobs. Yeah, please come by. Set in the fun, weird town of Ravendau, where something strange is always going on in a very sort of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Monster of the Week kind of vibes.
It was
Is there
nearly
something
said in a
strange in my
pirate ship.
neighborhood?
I was gonna
Yes.
say somebody who doesn't usually call me called me, and so I needed to take it. That's my bad. You watch Eurlinace, you fucks.
You can indeed find it currently here on the Twitch channel if you go back to our VODs, and pretty soon, within the next day or two,
It will be up on the YouTube. I will be making my way through the 2 or 3 videos that we need to get uploaded onto the YouTube over the next day or so. I've been in California for the past 2 weeks. I just arrived back yesterday. I'm incredibly jet lagged. I'm trying to catch up with everything. I'm doing my best.
And all the leaves are green. 2 different songs there, yeah. All the leaves are brown.
All
I did
the
other things.
leaves are brown.
The other thing to promote, which is my good friend Ellis Little, who I bully relentlessly, was selling cards and merch today, and my folks went and bought some Paul McCartney cards. But if you need some products, go there. There's no cast code at checkout. There should be. I'd like a little
There should be, dude.
commish. There should be, but there's not. But go and check it out. Go and follow their socials. They're a fucking phenomenal artist. They're sensational. Apart from that, watch Eurolinace and watch Red Robin Cass. Doing my best to hit some sub and dono goals. So if you all are feeling feisty, I'm doing that. I'm going to be doing a Kyler storytime stream first. I'm kind of tackling the sub goals in the easiest way to do them. The cosplay one's going to take a little longer because I have to do makeup and I have to find a night where I can fucking do my makeup. But we're getting on that. But yes, that's all my stuff.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything else? Cat. Other than your usual nearly everyday streams, currently going through Dragonflight, doing quests, a 2.4k H priest, all the usual stuff.
The normal bullshit.
A second dragon has hit the Gadgetzan neutral auction house.
Yeah, a lot of WoW. I have giveaways that are going to be going on throughout December. So if you haven't gotten Dragonflight yet, I'll have keys for that.
I might be in for that then, because I might get Dragonflight.
Hell yeah. I have a lot of life changes happening right now, so maybe streams could get a little bit sporadic. But we'll be around. You can always find me on
stream
socials.
on Cat's channel.
Can you please? Could you
I'll do it.
please?
I'll do it as well. You'll be welcome.
I'll be like,
Absolutely.
"Hey."
Please. You have
I'll
to like
heal you.
act like me though. I'll
Press
heal
in a push-up, bro.
I'll heal you.
I'll do
I'll
it
hear
and put
you.
on the cat ears.
Please.
Hey. I'll
Cat
hear you.
femboys only. Only. I'll let you do it. I'll give you
Hey,
you my
yo,
Twitch key.
motherfuckers.
I'll let you.
I will unretire the cat ears and the maid outfit
Absolutely. I will 100 I will give you
from the
if you
Tepathon.
stream in a maid outfit and cat ears, I will give you guys 100% of my monthly income. If you guys do that.
Bet, absolutely
Bet.
bet.
I just want to let you know it's really good that you have friends like this because I ain't doing jack shit for you.
Bro, I'll show my asshole on stream for 100% of your monthly income, dude. I'll show it right now.
I got you, baby.
Deal, absolutely fucking deal. I will
to have you guys on.
start doing fucking like fucking dances on stream in the maid outfit and the cat ears. I will even see if I can get some kind of cat paws as well for it.
I can
I
just
would-
imagine that's going to be like Chris's final subathon. It's like I'm giving up streaming. Here's an amount I need to survive for a good number of months. The final dono goal is I show my full entire actual butthole on stream.
And get banned, like.
That's it. I can't
Worth
come
it.
back.
The oath of the bit committed.
But, yeah.
I would
I
love
do
to
wa-
stream with you guys if you ever wanted to be on my channel. I'm more than open to that.
I do want to remind you, I did learn the full WAP dance and performed it as Ben Shapiro for the Titty Beganathon. So don't think I won't learn TikTok dances.
What about Caramel
Alright.
Dancing? Just classic.
The which one?
Caramel Dancing. Dance on me ons, clap in a hand, yours on the yours. I know
It's just a
it's
parrot.
great.
I can do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Truth be told,
I do have one. I do have one
That's it for
question
me.
before we. I do have one question before we get right into the thing. Cass, if we start playing WoW again,
Okay.
is it EU or NA?
it's
It's
NA.
NA.
It's NA.
It's
Formation
NA.
between.
It's NA.
It's NA.
See,
You
And
should
you
come
get
with
to be-
us to NA.
And then you're
I
going
knew-
Horde
I knew-
side Mal'Ganis.
No,
then
knew
Horde
you
side
were
Illidan.
Deep
Illidan.
You're
Sorry,
joining
go.
Horde side
No,
Mal'Ganis.
they're joining
And then
small
Power
indie
Word
company.
Degen. You want to fight me, Eli?
I haven't even.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I'm
win.
being headhunted. I love
You-
it.
You will
I
lose.
I do have one quick thing to promo. My sister and I, cheers, it's Katie, are planning a Dragon Age stream tomorrow. First of all, happy Dragon Age Day, everybody.
Happy Dragon
Yes.
Age Day.
Happy Dragon Age Day. There was a sick new trailer drop, a little cinematic drop today that's representative of the next game. That's very exciting. But we are planning to do one of the coolest quests, in my opinion, my favorite quests. The Here Lies the Abyss quest. We are going to do that live on stream tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at 7 p.m. Overseas in everywhere but the UK. The UK, don't tune in.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
you,
fuck
Britain.
them.
Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck 'em.
Lizzie's in a box,
Lizzie's in a box.
I have a video to send to you later, Cass. It's I'll show you. Also, Chris, I don't know if you got my message on Discord. I have a brand new meme playlist for you for a stream.
I saw that. I was interested in it. Oh, Eli, are we? Oh, never mind.
Okay.
Sorry, don't mind me.
But are we? Man, I'm showing my titties a lot this stream. I don't.
Damn.
Sorry, I was really warm.
Sorry, I
And
just
button up. We don't need me.
In case you can't
just-
tell, we're also kind of trying to stall and see if like Alaska will be here anytime soon.
Yeah, that's what we're
I've got,
doing.
I've,
We're not
I've got a pretty
flirting.
good. I've got a pretty good stall.
Go ahead.
I've had not one but 2 friend requests today on chess.com. Like, what the actual fuck? I'm like never on there, and when I am, I'm toxic as shit. Like, what? People are like, oh, you know who you need to search out? This sometimes person who streams chess. Big man Omar Nasir wants to be friends. Maybe we can bond over
Grandmaster Omar Nasir?
Grandmaster Omar Nasir, who's what's his profile picture? His profile picture is
Pepe?
him holding a medal.
Oh wow, actually.
Yeah, so maybe he is like actually an IM or something.
Oh, I have one quick thing to announce if we're like kind of trying to stall for time or anything. Any US viewers who are like based in Vegas and are going to the esports awards, just keep an eye on my Twitter over the next day or so.
I could be from Vegas.
Yeah, you could look at you.
Are you going to the
Like,
esports awards?
Anywhere right now.
I
be
could
anywhere.
get there. Put me in, coach.
Ohio.
No, because the
I
esports
mean-
awards are specifically taking place in Vegas, so there's a thing.
I'll give you an award if you come to Ohio.
I'll come
Alaska
visit.
and I,
You know the way, like, what's
It's like a 7-hour drive. I'll come visit.
easy. Let's go. I'm gonna be cleaning up anyway, so
so you know that evolutionary trait, carcinization, which is like where everything turns into a crab.
Mhm.
Is there a version of that but for Ohio where everything turns
Everything
into?
turns to Ohio.
It's the opposite. It's like the devolution.
Always has been.
It's all Ohio.
Always has been.
What's the matter, smooth skin? Never been to Columbus before.
Never seen Cincinnati before.
Yo, I'm just gonna say, Cincinnati Zoo. You told me about their light show and their little charity thing. I'll never forget him though. I'll never forget how they massacred my boy. It's 6 years on, but I still feel his absence. Checks out.
Alaska and I went to the
Next time.
Cincinnati Zoo.
I thought you'd have to
And-
say his name and people know what I fucking mean.
So Alaska and I went to the Cincinnati Zoo, and there like is a memorial to Harambe at the
100%.
Cincinnati Zoo. Like, it's actually a great zoo. Like, it was incredible. We went at like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, and so all the nocturnal animals were like out and feeding, and it was fucking rad. I highly recommend it. Kat, if you come over, we'll take you. And we'll
Please.
look at all like the little lemurs and guys, and they're out and about. It was incredible.
Okay.
Promise we'll do it. Pinky promise. It'll be wonderful. And I forget what I was talking about because I was talking about lemurs. But oh yeah, we went into the gorilla enclosure and I was like, this is where it happened. Those fucks. It's like a large fucking enclosure too. I'm like, damn. That
Funny,
kid
it's a
survived
sniper.
that fall? Sniper? I hardly knew him.
Y'all should really get to know him at this point. Like, I'm just saying.
Well, we would, Kat, but he was taken from us tragically by a murderer.
God.
Who was the guy that killed Harambe?
I'm gonna look it up.
Has
God.
he suffered enough yet?
Is he
I'm really-
even still alive? Has somebody not beat him to death by this
I
point?
nearly fucking choked on my chocolate, Chris. God damn.
Suffered enough.
I'm
Who
really,
killed Harambe?
Yep.
I
Who
know that
killed
we,
Harambe?
aren't like there's no battle plan for tonight, so I know that you haven't sorted out the battle screen. I really want to send this meme playlist in just to watch it until Alaska comes, because some of them are absolute bangers, and some of them reference jokes that have been made tonight already.
Like 9/11 in Harambe?
They didn't publish a name.
Oh.
Oh.
Is
Like,
they-
like they did in Northern Ireland, you know what I mean?
It just says
Not
a zoo
published.
worker
Soldier F.
killed him.
Soldier F, yeah. What if it was the same guy?
Or yep, the zoo's dangerous animal response team, a zoo worker. Yeah, they don't name a
All
name.
right, here we go. Cincinnati
Probably
Zoo.
for a reason.
LinkedIn Cincinnati Zoo.
That's signing a death sentence.
Okay, but you need like, was it 2016?
Cass is
Yeah.
going on their own manhunt.
Truly.
Chris, do
Putting
we
on the
have an
FBI hat.
ETA for Alaska, or like what kind of time scale are we looking at here?
I think they might be on their way home right now. I wouldn't pester them. I think they had a bit of a rough one. So I'm not sure. We could probably start up if we wanted
Yeah,
to.
will we just start at this point? Because like it's 40 minutes past 9.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's 40 minutes past 9. So I am taking the production veto at this point.
Okay. Then we will get started into this week's episode of Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons. And welcome back.
So hard. Oh, sorry.
Damn, Chris, the same joke 4 weeks in a row.
Damn.
You really are a white boy.
I'm a corked up white boy with a little bit of swagger.
Are you
Busting
goated
in.
with the sauce?
There could not be.
So, yes. Last we left off, the party had finished their fight with the son of Rush Galewind, who is called Thunder. The Thunder had for about a week, maybe a week and a half now, had posed as this kind of 80s bully antagonist to our lovely Kyler here. A little bit of goading here, a little bit of taunting there, led to something known in the noble families as a battle of houses. These brought the two groups together, choosing champions to represent the house. Of course, on the side of House Crestwave, we saw the Mandem and Kyler's father, Kyler Crestwave II. On the side of House Galewind, we saw Thunder, his father Rush, and 4 other unnamed lackeys who, unfortunately, aren't important enough for us to actually care about.
Henchman 1, Henchman 2, Henchman 3, and Henchman 4.
Yeah.
Kronk
Spin
really
off.
liked one of them, but
Yeah, Kronk was nice to one of them, and then not too long later, Kronk and Geraldine got eviscerated and... not eviscerated, because that's to do with blades. What's the word?
Immolated.
Immolated, yes, correct. Got completely immolated and burnt to a crisp. Following the battle, they were brought back around, they were healed, and Professor Raff, the Dean of Student Activities, came into the group's their kind of preparation room and spoke to Geraldine, speaking of some of the things that they had to do, speaking of some of the plans that are to be made, and Geraldine's potential role in those plans, including, but not limited to, being sent in as a sort of spy against her family. Hello, Alaska.
Hi.
Being unable to make the decision as of what to do then and there, Geraldine decided to take a moment back and have until the end of the week to decide. This was not much helped by seeing the Crestwaves, a relatively happy, complete, and loving family, As the night went on, people went their separate ways. Kronk went on his own adventure, questioning things, questioning why have I made the choices I have? What's, is it worth me doing this? And then German suplexing a giant crocodile, taking its corpse away, reanimating the corpse, and now having a crocodile skeleton pet. So it was a bit of a wild 20 minutes, but
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
As the scene pulled away, night fell. 2 days have passed since then. Your lives have been relatively normal. There's not a huge amount to do. However, it is now... I'm just going to start using the normal days of the week because I know y'all don't know the calendar, and that doesn't bother me. That's just for me. It is now the Friday of the week of the battle. As you have all gone to your classes the following day, on the Friday morning, it is about 7:30 a.m. Would any of you guys... Most of your classes don't start till 9. So would any of you guys... Would your characters be awake at this time in the morning, or are they the kind to kind of sleep in until 15 minutes before they need to be somewhere?
So Drazian is awake, but for one specific reason, because Drazian has woken up and there is something in his room that is a lot larger than it was the night previously.
Yes.
As Drazian wakes up, instead of a miniature wormling, there is now like a fucking direwolf sized dragon sleeping at the foot of his bed, and Drazian just wakes up with instantly goes to like the fucking communicator thing to contact other people, and like pings Geraldine's room. Is like, Geraldine, are you awake? A little bit of a situation here. You might want to come see.
I was going to say Geraldine was probably starting her day. Yeah. Okay.
Drazian calling me to a situation in the morning that I might want to see.
Yeah.
Geraldine, something's bigger in my room than it was last night. Come see it.
Yeah, she's not ready for the day yet, but she will hesitatingly go check because he sounded worried.
Okay.
Babe, I don't know if your mic is working.
It's because I muted you.
Absolutely savage. Anyway.
Where's Wonderwall?
Geraldine, you live in the same house, so maybe you throw on some sort of like robe just to cover yourself, so you're not like walking around in whatever you wear at nighttime. Tie your hair back, do whatever you need to do. You travel across the hall and knock on Drazian's door, which not 2 moments later is opened by Drazian, kind of pulling the door open, reaching out, grabbing you and pulling you in, and then slamming the door shut. And as this whirlwind of movement happens, you're caught off guard for a second before you see, lying at the bottom of Drazian's bed. While yes, the size of this creature is much larger than what you expected, the frame is not one of a dire wolf. It's legs are lanky. Its neck is elongated. It kind of looks like the It looks like the reptilian version of a Great Dane. Because of the kind of nature, dragons don't tend to have like stubby legs.
Is it like resembling a drake form, or?
Oh no, yeah, it is. It is resembling.
Okay.
It's
it
kind of
looks
like
kind
a
of
not fully grown Komodo dragon. Is probably the best way of describing how Azuria looks right now.
yeah.
Okay.
A kind of medium-sized Komodo dragon, essentially. A young Komodo dragon is with wings is what Azuria looks
But she
like.
has wings. Okay.
Yes,
She has wings,
She
and
always
compared to
has
the
that.
Komodo dragon's kind of like small legs, that kind of like
Yeah.
that, they are like full, extended, stretched out
Yeah.
legs.
Okay. I was thinking she might not have wings, and I was like, what a. Okay. She has wings.
No, she has wings. She can fly.
Okay.
I woke up and Azuria was suddenly not small anymore.
Yeah, I've heard that happens. I couldn't tell you why.
It's I know it's specific to do with my bond with her. This isn't like a normal dragon thing, but you're kind of the other person that she knows most, and I didn't know what to do, and I kind of panicked, and I was like, in the spirit of whatever. You like her a lot. Thought you might like to come and see. I don't know. I don't know. It's been.
Yeah. Geraldine, you have family who raise drakes.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know all of the ins and outs of the growth pattern of Drake and the Drake family of creatures. However, growing from this side, like from what Azuria was to this overnight, probably isn't the way that it usually happens.
Okay.
And
that's a very specific Dusakairi thing.
Yeah, no, not that you're looking at this and it looks like Azuria's a fucking chia seed pet. Someone's poured water on her and she's overnight.
Okay, got it.
And it's as you two are talking and as Drazen is kind of rambling off about this, that Azuria's head starts to turn and she starts to wake up from her kind of peaceful slumber. Much akin to the way like a teenager wakes up before a day of school, where they kind of like all of their limbs just stretch out at once.
Okay.
Big stretch.
And then they just let their limbs go limp. And then she stands up on all fours. Her head maybe comes to your just for you it'd probably be just
like
above
mid-high
your
chest.
chest.
Yeah.
And she seems completely unfazed by this growth. Not that you can speak to her or that you understand her.
Does
I
she
can
function
communicate with
as... But does she function as an animal I could communicate with? Or is she outside of that?
Let me look up the exact rules of this.
Because that will change how I ask about this.
You can talk to beasts. This does not function.
She does not. Okay.
She doesn't function as an animal that you can speak to.
Okay.
For Shanjo, it's a little bit different because he's technically he is kind of a drake, but he's also just a giant turtle.
So yeah, and I can only
he's
speak in a shark form. Yeah, like I can't speak to him normally.
Yeah.
What about hybrid?
And
It's,
Azuria is a true dragon as well, so it kind of falls under different creatures.
Well, I mean, I wasn't just sure like if there's a difference between beasts, animals, and where those spells can differentiate. Okay. Um. So you said she's now awake and like standing upright.
Yeah, and she doesn't seem like her face does not seem, to be in any form of like wonder or bewilderment at the fact that she is now almost as tall as both of you. It's just these blinking reptile eyes that like look
Okay.
at you both.
I'm imagining that while Drazen is rambling a little bit of why he called Geraldine down, GB's sort of just watching Azuri sort of wake up and stand up, like just staring at her the whole time. And when Dre's done talking, she'll sort of go over and like put a hand on Azuria, just like make sure it's like the same animal, like make sure there's still like a connection there. Like she recognizes me, I recognize her.
Yeah, no, it is the same animal. As you put your hand on her cheek, she naturally goes to do what she would have done before, which is kind of twirl around your arm. But as she does it now, she realizes that she is a significantly larger size, and she kind of stops halfway over, trying to go around your arm the first time, and she looks a bit confused. And this Drazian for you is the first time that you hear her speak.
Mm-hmm.
Where you don't really hear anything at all. She doesn't even make a noise for you, Geraldine. Drazian, you hear, well, that's never happened before.
Yeah. I'm telepathically communicating with her. I'm like, yeah, you got a lot bigger overnight, darling.
She turns her head and she looks at you. And she goes, did I just hear you speak?
Yeah, you spoke and I heard you speak, so I
You
spoke
understand
back.
me?
Yeah, I can understand you. Very, very much so. Drazian now says this in his actual accent.
This is strange.
Yeah, you've
She
got
kind
that
of
right.
plods
Do I
over.
perceive anything? Like, do I like see them like looking at each other? Like, do I
Oh
get
yeah,
any?
no, she like snaps her head to Drazian and is like now like eyes locked with
Okay.
Drazian. This is it kind of, like one of those shots in a movie that goes on a little bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you're watching. You're like as Azuria also like plods on all fours closer to Drazian.
Mm-hmm.
And just begins like sniffing him. You smell like Drazian.
That's
Just
And-
kiss
that's me. I'm not the one who's drastically changed overnight. At least I don't think I have. I haven't grown wings or a second head or anything, have I?
As she like continues going around, she like licks the side of your face. You taste like Drazian. And she takes a couple of steps back. But you're much shorter than Drazian.
It's not that I'm much shorter, darling. It's you have actually shot up quite a substantial amount, you could say. Look at the surroundings. Look at the size of the room. Doesn't it look much smaller as well?
She does the kind of dog thing where she like walks in a very tight circle. I suppose so. This is strange.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Last night you could fit on my shoulder, and now you're a lot bigger.
You're going to have to get much stronger to continue to carry me.
Yeah, I suppose I am. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. I'm not going to be able to hide you in my clothes anymore.
Well, we will figure it out. Let us be off. And she begins to walk towards the door.
Oh no, Azuri, wait.
Geraldine is very noticeably like,
I look, I think it's probably best. We don't want everyone else in the city to find out you're here. Do you remember things I whispered to you about keeping you safe from there's people here who aren't very nice that may not treat you right and may try to hurt you. That those people are still out there, so we need to be careful. But
She shoots her head back at you and she cuts you off and she goes, I understand they're out there, but look, I have muscles now. Let's see them try to take me on. And she continues her path towards the door.
no, Azuri, please wait. Look, we've got to take time to think about this and figure out how to do this. You have wings, you can fly. You can fly so that they don't see you. Then that avoids the problem altogether.
I suppose.
Look,
I don't want to think about this. If I remain here, will you figure this out for us?
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. Well, I'll come up with a plan. You rest here. How about I go and get you something to eat? I go get you some food. Breakfast?
2 to 4 pounds of raw bacon sounds lovely right now.
I'll make it 6. I'll be back.
And she just crawls up onto the bed and plops herself down, taking up the entire bed.
I give her a little scratch on under her cheek, under her jaw, just to comfort her, and then I say to Geraldine, let's go outside and talk for a few minutes.
okay.
Yeah, Geraldine.
We will wave bye to Azuri. I'm assuming he's across the room on the bed now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Azuria's tail just kind of flicks up and waves about and then goes back to being kind of, rest, like a resting position. Geraldine, it's important to note that from your perspective, there was just 5 minutes of these guys just staring at each other. Like,
all right,
circling each other in the room.
Yep. All right.
Okay, I slam the door shut behind her, sort of like, so she can speak now. Just to me, apparently, but she can speak. Like, telepathically, I heard her voice and then she heard mine, and there was a whole exchange.
That is how that works. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. I assume this is just because of this and because of our bond, and that's the assumption I'm going with. I've managed to convince her to not walk around the city of Agalane. I've just about convinced her that's a very bad idea. But she's hungry, so I'm gonna go to the butcher's and make up some fucking story about why I need a huge ton of bacon and sausages right now.
Just say it's for Kronk.
I mean,
He just walks in. Kronk, here for Kronk's regular order, no problem.
Kronk's family are coming to visit.
okay. Do you need me for anything else?
No, I just thought you might want to come and see the fact that I know you are really fond of Azurias, and you're the one that's kind of known about this from the start, so you're the only person that kind of understands it on the level that I do, and I panicked and you were the first person that I was like, right, I should call Geraldine so she can see this as well. Sorry, I know you're going through a lot, and timing is weird, but it's
No, it's fine. I don't know what I could do.
I didn't really.
But I mean, she is bigger.
Yeah, it's more that like I don't have any like family here, and you're like kind of the closest thing to that's been here for me since arriving here and to her. So I just wanted you to know when I kind of freaked out and panicked, and when I freak out and panic, I usually talk to my mom or I talk to Dren, and they're not here, so yeah.
Do you need to go back to bed or anything? You seem frazzled.
I need to go and get my dragon breakfast. I'll be back. Thanks for the help. I will chat to you later. And Drazian just fucking bolts.
So Geraldine is left standing in the hallway.
Yeah.
Is your bedroom door locked?
No.
Geraldine will walk back into Drazian's room.
I need to very
Geraldine
quickly check something.
heel turn. Geraldine uses power word kill on the dragon.
I'm sorry,
Look at the
Azuria.
flowers. Look at the flowers.
Tell me
Look
about
at
the
the
rabbits, Azuria.
Lilith.
Cast of mice and men reference.
Lilith, with your room directly across the hall from Drazian's room, and with your passive perception of 16, you've heard.
Oh yeah, I was listening to all of that.
Yeah, you've heard this opening and closing of doors, and while you couldn't hear anything in Drazian's room, the moment they came back out into the hall, you could hear everything.
Yeah, so I just heard I'm gonna go get my dragon some breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've also heard, you're the only thing that I have that's close to family here.
Oh yeah, no, I heard that.
Yeah. And you hear footsteps run away, and then Drazian's door close again. But you don't know who ran away and who is where.
I'm gonna go get my dragon breakfast.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
GB's gonna go
Geraldine.
back into Dre's room, close the door behind her, and just sort of look at Azuria from across the room and sort of like see if she's okay with like GB being nearby.
Let me.
Lilith pulls out both guns and fucking lights up the room.
Oscar Pistorius style through the door.
Let me just double check something here. I have to get a stat sheet up.
She
Oh, it's really weird. When I touch this gun, Azuria lights up blue.
He was already blue. Damn, she's lighting up blue.
Hey Kronk, can I borrow your Molotov cocktails? Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm bartending this weekend. Can I borrow your Molotov cocktails?
Yeah, I think I got 2 left. Go for it.
Kronk's still sleeping.
Kronk is, by the way, while this is all happening, is like a body pillow cuddling Eyebite.
Incredible.
Eyebite is laying completely on top of Kronk, and they are cuddling, sleeping together. It's very cute.
The most uncomfortable, like, body pillow, but a body pillow for Kronk.
I mean, he's
he's
made
made
out of
of
stone.
Yeah.
Anyway, right?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, with a 16 perception, as you enter the room again, Geraldine, Azuria's head does kind of perk up and she turns around and she looks at you. Oh, there goes Chris. Azuria's head does pop up and she turns and she looks at you, and her tongue very quickly kind of flitters, kind of like a snake's tongue a little bit, but slightly thicker and not as like like it's not forked or anything. It kind of shoots out and back in, and she's just staring at you blankly.
Chibi's gonna slowly approach her and hopefully like sit on the edge of the bed next to Azuria and like put like a hand on her neck or something.
Yeah. All of that happens without issue. Could you roll an insight check for me, please?
$21.
As you look at Azuria,
21.
whenever Azuria was a pseudo dragon, there was not much behind the eyes. Now as you look at Azuria, there is this intense look of concentration, and it takes you a moment or two to realize, oh, she's trying to telepathically communicate with me. And obviously it's not working because you don't have the bond, but she's just like...
Does
You can try speaking to her in Draconic to find out.
Geraldine is going to say, "Hi, Azuria. I'm Geraldine."
In Draconic, returning the speech. Oh, hello. I didn't know that you could speak the language of my kind.
Yeah, I have a lot of family that raises dragons. Not quite like you, it seems, but similar enough. I picked up enough, I guess.
I must say I'm not as used to using this voice as I should be. Lilith, from across the hall, now you can hear the sounds of a dragon roaring in Drazian. You can hear this kind of coming from Drazian's room. As Azuria, this is the first time Azuria has spoken. Azuria has no concept of volume control.
Autistic coded dragon.
They hoard things. They hoard their special interest. They don't like people coming into their space. All dragons are autistic coded. Thank you very fucking much.
Clip it.
Ultraviolet spectrum.
Truly.
Why do you think we're all chromatic? We are the colors of the puzzle rainbow.
Incredible.
So yes, Lilith, you can hear all this happening from Drazian's room. Geraldine, you're getting this directly in the face. Just a yelling dragon.
Okay. Chibi's gonna ask if she needs anything.
I've already sent away Drazian to get me 2 to 4 pounds of raw bacon.
Oh yeah,
What
we did
else?
feed you raw bacon that once, didn't we?
What else could you provide for me?
More raw bacon.
I don't know. Maybe we could go for a little flight sometimes if you want to stretch your wings. I don't know how Dre would feel about it, but I just thought maybe you'd want company.
I would like to point it out that I'm going by all of the stats on this stat sheet that is that like I have in front of me for a blue dragon wormling. As you say, stretch your wings, she looks at you, puzzled, and goes, I do not need to fly to do that. And she just stretches out her wings and completely clears Drazian's bedside table of all of its contents.
So now I'm just hearing thundering.
Yeah, you're
noises?
hearing these thundering shouts and noises, and you heard Drazian talking about his dragon getting bigger, and he's away to get it breakfast, and now you're hearing things clattering to the floor.
Has this woken up Kronk? Isn't
Do I
Kronk
even
right above
want to know
Drazian?
what's going on in there?
Kronk's room is right above Drazian, but Kronk is also
Is he past the fuck
Curled
out?
up with eyebite.
Pardon me for assuming Kronk probably wouldn't wake up if an earthquake hit him. So
Welcome.
No, that's a normal Tuesday. Like,
yeah,
I'm just
Do you
gonna
know-
look at Malort and be like, go fucking figure out what that is. Let's go look at what that is. I'm just gonna like, through the eyes of Malort. I don't feel like getting out of bed. She's still in bed. She's like, I'm not fucking getting up.
Cat Malort or Spider
Because the
Malort.
door
Probably
is
Spider-
closed.
The
Yeah.
door is closed.
Yeah.
You could send Spider Malort just out onto your balcony and around to look in through Drazian's window.
It's just Cat Malort just.
I mean, truth be told, GB would probably open the door to that.
Malort dies for like a fifth time in this adventure as Azuria just
Literally.
fucking eats
Chomps.
Malort.
Yeah, I
As,
guess.
Just
like,
as you swallow, it's just gone. Like
I
nothing
could.
gets to
Should
stomach.
just. I guess Spider Malort can go sneak out on the window.
Yeah. As you like, as this Spider Malort goes and sneaks around and through the window, and as you begin to share your consciousness and thus the senses of Spider Malort, you see, like, obviously everything's kind of stretched out through spider vision. You know, it's like because of the amount of eyes.
Yeah, there's 8 of them now.
Yeah, as you're like walking along, and Spider Malort looks into Drazian's window, it is just Geraldine sitting on a bed and a dragon who has their wings spread out.
And Geraldine's sitting there like,
Yeah.
okay. Geraldine's going to say to Azuria, well, since we can communicate at least a little bit, I stay a couple rooms down if you ever want to come by. Or there's a library upstairs. Just wanted to reacquaint ourselves now that you're bigger, I suppose.
I don't know what my size has to do with my personality, but I don't know why I grew like this either.
Yeah, size has got nothing to do with it.
It's not about the size, it's what you do with it that counts.
Yeah.
Geraldine stares
the
over
ocean,
at the
baby.
nightstand that's been ransacked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Well, I'll leave you to rest then, and I'll look into any other situations in which this type of growth has happened, if that's all right with you, and let you know.
I have no issue with this.
It's you.
He's still
Okay.
getting used to talking, and like, you know, the whole aspect of speech is
Mhm.
completely new to her. So the fact that she even knows words is only through her shared knowledge with Drazian, through this kind of meta-magical link that they have.
Okay.
So she doesn't know anything Drazian doesn't know. She does not know any words Drazian doesn't know, any languages Drazian doesn't know, anything like that. Her entire knowledge of...
fun
Her
fact,
entire-
Azuria knows deep space.
Eats up the hole.
Yeah, Azura then knows also deep speech, yeah.
Yeah, GB's just gonna say, all right, I'm gonna let you rest then, and I'll be around if you need me.
I thank you, one with flowers. And she sets her head back down.
GB is going to leave the chaos of the nightstand as it is. Doesn't want to go through Dre's stuff, and is going to let herself out of the room.
As you leave the room, Lilith, still looking through Malort's eyes, you watch as Azuria's eyes open and her head turns towards Malort. Go away, intruder. And she lies her head back down. Yeah.
Lord's gonna give Azuria the middle finger. And as a spider.
The middle leg.
One middle leg comes up. Like,
wait, can Malort understand what Azuria is saying though?
Can Lilith speak Draconic? Is the question. Then no.
You just hear you shout.
You just hear.
Does GB hear that?
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
It's a passive 17.
If it's a passive 17, then through the
Yeah.
door you do hear it. Yes. As the day continues.
whatever. Malort's gonna huff and puff back to the room. Lilith is crazy. Oh.
Hearing a dragon say, "Go away, intruder," I think Geraldine opens the door again.
Azuria's eyes are closed and comfortably lying on the bed.
Meanwhile, at the
got
butcher's,
gaslit. She's gonna close the door again and go, "Okay, she must have heard something, and everything's fine," and go back to her room.
Must have been the wind.
Really, I must have heard this fucking dragon.
Nobody's there. Must have been the wind.
Yeah.
As the day goes on, a couple of hours pass.
Ural, it's hardly ever the wind. You probably should investigate what it is. Like, how many times do we have to go over this, bud?
As this goes on, everybody wakes up over the course of the next hour and 45 minutes. Hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, Drazian has been
goes
out.
back with a big fucking sack of meat.
You couldn't really get like that much bacon readily made, so you just like the Spanish jamon serrano legs.
Yeah,
it's just like a pig's leg you come back with. Which Kyler, as you're out doing your kind of morning affirmations beside the water, you do see Drazian just chugging a pig's leg over his shoulder.
I had Kyler down by like the beach with Shenjo, and
Yeah.
Kyler's watching videos on New Lynette while playing a ukulele. So it's kind of just like a okay, yeah.
I never know what's
Landwalker
going on
stuff.
in that boy's head.
Landwalkers, am I right?
Drazian just stomps upstairs with this giant fucking pig's leg in tow.
Kronk floats towards the pig leg, like a cartoon.
Still sleeping.
With like the waft lines.
About 15 minutes before any of you are due to leave the house, you each receive a notification on your phone. It seems to be an email from a school email address. And as you read it, it names each of you by name. It seems to be a group, like an email sent out to you guys as a group. And it says, to the recipients, Drazian, Kyler, Geraldine, Kronk, and Lilith, please note that your classes today have been cancelled. The Dean of Student Activities, Professor Raff, would like to see you at your earliest convenience. Please click here to meet him, or reply with your location and he will be there.
Drazian wasn't there for the last time this thing occurred.
Oh dear.
So Drazian, after like absent-mindedly feeding this giant fucking pig's leg to Azuria, just goes, "Oh, okay. Must be a meeting location or like respond to say that you'll be in attendance, to see hopefully where the location is." And Drazian just clicks it.
Yeah, as you click it, you are like, you kind of, while you're feeding Azura with one hand and you click it on the other hand, you watch as your thumb begins to unravel and split apart from itself, each fiber of your existence becoming separate from another.
I drop the pig's leg.
And getting pulled into the phone. And you're like, oh god.
Oh no. Shit.
Before 2 or 3 moments later, you are sitting in the staff room of True Arms Academy for Adventurers.
Is Professor Raff sitting in front of me?
Professor Raff is not sitting in front of you. Yep. Chris's entire setup crashed apparently. So he's rebooting everything.
Hold on, I'll just. Oh,
He actually clicked the link in the email.
He actually clicked the link in the email.
Chris got an actual email and just went, "What's this?"
Okay, hello. I believe I've returned. Okay, so
You have
the
indeed.
classes were canceled for some reason.
Classes were cancelled. There was an email that said, "Click here if you would like to meet Professor Raff, or reply with your location, and he will come to you."
Kronk knows what phishing is and does thorough investigation to make sure that this is not a phishing email.
Drazian
You're gonna
clicked
say
on it.
fishing in front of Kyler Cresswave like that?
With a PH, all right?
Yeah,
Not a
yeah,
hard
yeah.
F. Not a hard F.
A phishing.
Yo,
Right.
Phishing.
phishing. You kind of do what research you can, and everything seems to be fairly above board. You have received emails like this from the school before.
Roll an insight check on fishing.
Roll,
kidding.
roll an intelligence check to see if you get
To see,
scammed.
yeah, to see if you fall for it.
All right.
Yeah, that's a 14.
come
Crypto's a good idea.
See, Kronk has seen that type of email before, so I expect Kronk
rolled.
knows what to do with this.
I rolled an 11 on my intelligence check.
Kronk's like, my nephew is stuck in Europe right now.
Oh my god, there's an Evermartian prince who needs my help transferring money from his bank account.
Kronk did give like 7,000 gold to resurrect a crocodile, so I
That's how
mean,
much you spent?
Yeah. Like, Stupendor basically went, how much you got? I'll take that.
he said 15,000 to bring him back. I said no. And he said, okay, well, what about as a skeleton? I said, okay. He said, that's less.
Do you
So
got
is
a
he
budget
just
option?
A skeleton?
Yeah, it's just a living skeleton of a crocodile.
Of a giant crocodile.
A giant crocodile.
With the personality of a dog, called a dogadile. And his name is Eyebite,
Okay, charming.
which is also the name of a necromancy spell. Very cool.
Also, what your girlfriend does.
Yeah.
Necromancer?
I bite.
Wait.
Eyebite.
So these huge creatures, this is from the D&D SRD. These huge creatures usually live in saltwater and can be more than 20 feet long. Let's say this is a standardly sized one. So this is... Eyebite is about 17 feet in length.
That's a big croc.
Do we even have room for him?
Kronk's room.
mean, realistically, he's only double Kronk. Like,
Yeah, slightly more than double Kronk, so it is what it is. Plus, he's a skeleton, so like, he could like slot himself into places. Do you know what I mean?
You know how dry bones can just.
Yeah, he
Extra
just falls
storage
apart.
space.
He falls apart to sleep at night.
We play fetch with his femur. It's great.
You could hang your laundry on him.
I think that he would rip up my laundry. I mean, he's still a
he's a
crocodile.
puppy.
Yeah.
He's
just a
the mind-
puppy.
He's
He's the
just
mind
a
of a dog.
puppy.
He's just a little guy.
He's just a little
He's just
guy.
a little guy.
Cronky's 17 feet long. He's a little guy.
He's just a little guy. You see it?
As this is all kind of going on, I've completely lost track. Okay, no, we're at the email.
Yeah, Kronk thought it
Yeah.
was fishing.
Kronk, you got an 11. So for Kronk, that's pretty good. So like, I'm gonna say, as Chris, you can decide whether or not.
I feel like Kronk identifies it's from like a valid domain. Like he's like, oh, that's .edu. That's fine. He doesn't look really much further into it, which like you should. Like you should look for like spelling mistakes. You should hover over the links before you click them, see where they go. This is free phishing training with your boy. But he goes, oh, all right. You know, that's from an email I recognize. Like it's a reputable email. And so he clicks.
Yeah, and you experience the feeling of your very essence beginning to unravel at its core and being pulled into the crystal net of the phone. It's like, oh shit, it was phishing.
Oh no.
Kyler is gonna maybe send an email back and be like, "Can you meet underwater?" Just to see what it says.
It doesn't return instantly, but a minute or two later, there's like a very formally written out reply that in essence boils down to, no, Professor Raff can't breathe underwater. We're sorry for this inconvenience.
Kyler goes, "Fine." Kind of stands up, turns to Shenjo, brushes some sand off like the jacket and the armor. Goes, Shen's like, "Listen, buddy, gonna tuck the ukulele under his like shell. Like, someone's called. Can you like get me at the school later or something? I don't even know what's going on, but I do recognize this from Professor Truearm." And Kyler is going to jump, tuck, and flip, and then click at midair.
There is a little. Go ahead and roll a dexterity check for me.
Just flat dexterity.
Flat dexterity. Well, athletic. No, acrobatics. Sorry.
Okay, to be fair, I have the same modifier. Come on, D&D Beyond.
Yeah, it's being slow today.
It's
Don't
a
worry.
nat 20.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, superhero landing.
Had you not timed this correctly, you wouldn't have known that the teleportation spell has a little bit of a activation time. So you would have jumped, tucked, flipped, landed on the ground in a crumpled heap, and then teleported.
Right.
But you kind of go, okay. Press the button, jump, tuck, flip, and you're teleported mid-flip, and at the other end of the teleportation, you land, finishing the flip perfectly. Not that anybody who's there could tell you did a flip, unfortunately, because none of them saw the start of it.
He just
But
landed.
Kyler knows.
Yeah, he just kind of goes, whoof, and lands.
Kronk
it.
was so obsessed with if it was phishing email or not, he didn't really read the contents, and he was on the toilet when he sent.
So there's Kronk who was on the toilet, Drazian whose hands are covered in meat juice right now.
Grease.
Yeah, the greasiest shit ever. Kyler who's like fucking done this flip and is like very pleased with himself.
And then what about the girls?
Geraldine's gonna text the fucking group message asking when y'all want to go, or do you want him to come here? not knowing that you three already clicked it.
So the girls are making out, and they click it, and they teleport together naked.
Chris, this
You
isn't
okay,
a
buddy?
fantasy.
You good?
Chris having a fucking normal one. Dude.
Chris just puts his head in his hands. It's been a while.
Look,
Oh
man,
no, he just like me.
He's just like me for real.
look, there hasn't been enough fan fiction in chat. I'm booting it up. Let's go.
Kyler will snap back a text like, click the link, just with like 3 emojis, like click the link, and it's gonna be like the little chain emoji,
Click the link in my
mouse
bio.
icon, and then like
link
I
in
don't know,
bio.
just a weird one like a pine tree. Like,
A church.
yeah, just like a really weird emoji.
Lilith, are you replying to the text at all?
No, I'm just gonna click the link and almost I just feel like silently appear into the room, almost like no flourish, nothing cool. Almost like
Is Lilith still lying in bed at the time of
Oh, are you
clicking this
still-
link?
no, I feel like I would have gotten up.
Okay. Then Lilith, for you, as you're you see the notification from Geraldine appear. Like, is anybody going to click the link? Like, or are we meeting him here? You click the link, and you're just like kind of walking along, looking at your phone. And for you, there's none of this sensation of like teleportation. For you, you just kind of click the link, and then 2 steps later, you look up and you're in the office. And it's just whatever. Just.
Luckily, Lilith's
one of those
pajamas
moments-
are
yeah.
like
One of those moments where you're
already-
like, how long have you been here? I've always been here.
You guys didn't see me.
You guys didn't see me. I've
Um,
literally always been here.
So yes, Geraldine, then you're the last one who gets who is to click the
Yeah.
link. Yeah.
Yeah, I assume GB's in like loungewear doing like book work or studying or looking up things, and just sort of like, ugh, what an inconvenience, and like brings a book with her and clicks the link.
As you click the link, you're like sitting cross-legged on the floor, and as you click the link, you are teleported to be on top of the coffee table, knocking over a coffee mug, still sitting cross-legged, but not with like a book in hand, and the rest of the group is sitting around you in these kind of like large plush leather chairs that like teachers lounge, like it's definitely like from like 3 years after the school was built, those kind of like old leather chairs.
Kyler's sitting like sideways.
Yeah.
like, absolutely across the like.
Kyler's sitting like a
Oh.
Skyrim. Kyler's sitting like a Skyrim jarl. Just
They're telling me dragons have
Wait, I'm kind of sitting like a.
I have given you the right to buy property in my hold.
Drazen takes like a handkerchief out of his jacket that would be normally for cleaning blood off his fucking sword or something like, or off his jacket, and just like wipes his hands and looks up at everyone and is like, I promise this is not what it looks like.
What does it look like?
I don't know, like I fucking murdered somebody or something?
I don't know.
did you kill the Burger King? Is that why there's grease all over your hands?
Look, Azuria got a lot bigger and I needed to go to the butcher's and get her some meat, so I did, and then I
The
clicked
Hamburglar.
I clicked the link thinking it was just like, oh, I say yes to invitation thing, and then I ended up here with
Cubes.
pig leg meat all over my hands, so.
So Geraldine's sitting on the coffee table, not like on the floor at the coffee table, but on it.
On it. In the middle of the group.
where's-
Lilith is
Alright.
and Kronk got teleported onto like a single person like armchair, but with his pants down.
Without looking up at any of like the commotion going on in the room, GB's gonna keep like, reading her book and say, "Oh yeah, Azuri and I talked, just in case she didn't tell you."
Okay, cool.
And
Wait,
keep reading.
Sorry, what do you mean you talked? Because she can communicate with me telepathically. Wait, you speak
slowly pulls his pants up back down because they seem distracted.
Seems like a good time.
Kronk doesn't like.
But Lilith is just standing behind him, like in the back of the room.
Lilith, you're standing like at the back of the chair that Drazian is like sitting at, and you're like looking over his shoulder at him while he's like just wiping his hands and going, "What do you mean you talked to her?" Do you know that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you speak Draconic, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, I mean a little. Yeah, enough.
Right. That makes sense. That's how you can speak to her. Like, that would have made sense for me to try that before, but right. Okay. It's been a long day, and it's only fucking 11.
Yeah, about that.
So does Dre also speak Draconic then?
Yes, Dre is fluent in Draconic.
Noted. Does anyone else in the group speak Draconic? Shenjo.
He does. Like,
What if Shenjo got teleported as well?
Bro,
I thought about it.
you should have held Shenjo's hand.
Getting
Like
him out would have been a pain.
Dragon Ball style.
If I held out the Azuri as well, just a fucking dragon turtle and a wormling dragon in this fucking office.
I bite too. Let's all get here.
Everyone has a pet now.
Yeah.
Except
Kronk,
Geraldine.
Geraldine is the pet.
I was gonna say that.
Kronk, as everybody else is doing, like they're talking and kind of going around. Kronk, you don't really stand up to like pull your pants up. You do the thing where you like pull them up past your knees while you're still sitting down, and then just kind of like awkwardly wiggle them back on to yourself.
Your dick was just out.
Oh, dick,
I would go bathroom,
butthole.
dog. It was like,
I thought-
well, after you finish up and you like,
I
you
thought
wipe
that was
up,
your
but then
leg,
you're
and
just
you
kinda
were just
chilling.
like sitting
Stuffed
cross-legged.
third leg.
But because of the way he pulled up his pants, yeah, his dick's probably like above his waistline, so you know.
It's
But he's
like
not
So
long
just
enough,
the
it's
tip
okay.
is hanging out the top of the pants.
on the stomach.
Yeah, it's like, you know. That happens.
You could say he's rock hard.
But
I don't
Boo.
Yeah, he could.
Tomato,
He could.
tomato.
I suppose I haven't thought about Kronk's cock that much. Like the
That makes
texture.
one of us.
Alaska
Yeah, that
has.
makes one of us. So, woo!
Jesus, alright.
I've seen those sweatpants.
Kronk be running around in that tracksuit, like those gray joggers.
Jogger.
I hardly
Get to
her.
know her, Alaska. Get to know her.
Apes, I'm trying.
Where is Professor Raft, Max?
Professor Wrath is not currently in the room, but as
Well,
you
thank
guys,
God.
Thank God, because Kronk's dick is out.
instead of ribbed for your pleasure, it's rubble for your pleasure.
Jesus.
Oh, damn, I didn't think the joke was that bad.
Eddie Dildo line's coming to you soon, by the way.
That's
Damn.
a joke.
Yeah,
That's a joke.
No, it's not.
Is it?
I mean, we
I've
were
seen
making
shit, man.
merch, so
'Tis the season.
As like moments after Kronk manages to get his pants up around his waist, Professor Raph's office door opens into the staff room. At which point he goes, "Oh, I was not expecting you to all click the link so quickly."
Some of
This
us didn't know
generation-
this is what would happen when we clicked the link. I thought it was an accept invitation thing, or it would show us the location to meet at. I didn't realize it would zoom me while I'm occupied.
I was under the impression that Sir Truearm had done this form of magic with your group before.
Lilith and me weren't there.
I
I
understand
forgot.
that. I mean, it is a negligible form of magic, so I understand.
It's handy.
I suppose
Literally
it
a
is.
Zoom meeting.
Survived another meeting that could have been an email.
It was an email.
Well, I would. It is great that you are all here. Then I would like to ask you all the question that has been on my mind for the past 2 days. Well, I would like to ask one of you.
I understand. So my hair care routine, Professor. I understand having fur is probably quite time consuming, but trust me, if you follow these steps, you'll see results.
You watch as like Raph kind of like smirks at you and goes, I think you'll find that my hair is more soft and illustrious than yours, Mr. Crestwave. And he kind of runs his hand through his fur, and you watch as it is like untouched and unmessed by him running his hand through. It is just so light and fluffy. You're amazed.
You know what?
Wait, is that
You know what?
Thoriel you're using?
Game recognizes game. Yeah, fair enough.
I feel
All heads
like
must
there's
go.
an unwritten rule not to pet a professor, and so I'm not going to do it, but I want to.
I gotta
I would
be
put-
right
Geraldine
back for just a
shakes.
second. One second.
Geraldine shakes her head at the group, but does not look up, and specifically does not make eye contact with the professor.
Professor Raph kind of goes, I would prefer if you did not pet me, but I understand the want to. He walks around the chair that Kronk is sitting in and sits down on the floor between Kronk and the coffee table, which just so happens to be the direction that Geraldine is facing. And as he sits on the floor, he kind of like does the thing, whenever like a dog or like a kid doesn't want to look at you and they're like looking at the ground and you have to go like and look up at them from underneath. He does that to you, Geraldine, and he goes, I do apologize, Miss Boulevard, but we do need an answer to whether or not you are willing to do this. If you would like, I can talk you through everything that you need to know before you make your final decision. But for this to be completed, you would need to be on the road to New Lynette by end of day.
Yeah, sure. What do I need to know?
So, he kind of stands back up and he walks over to this whiteboard and he takes out a marker and he begins to start drawing. Your sister, Jax Boulevard. I did not find anywhere if this is short for Jacqueline or if Jax is her full name, but
That's her full name.
this your eldest sister is, I hesitate to say target, but I cannot think of a better term at the moment, is the target for this plan, this operation. We're not looking to hurt her, we are not looking to put her in danger, but the businesses that she is in charge of under your family's eye and from your family's very capable mind, they are very capable people, but we believe that her import-export business within New Lynette is the location where we can get most of the information that we need in regards to the Aegis chapter. And we believe that she is about to receive a very important shipment, and that it will not be staying in her warehouses for long. Whatever you could do to delay this, to make it stay there, or stop the shipment altogether, would be of great benefit to all of us. What we have proposed is this. For a small amount of time, you and the rest of your fellow students here,
The man down.
them, as Mr.
That's Kylo's-
Cresswave,
yeah.
as Mr. Cresswave called you,
GB smirks.
will be expelled from school. You will be, by all accounts, no longer students of True Arms. This allows you an opening to return to your family and say that you were not happy with your education, or we did something to slight you or wrong you, and that these are people that have stood by you, and thus you would like to bring them along. We would ask that you seem interested in your family's business on their side, wanting to help it flourish. Get what information you can, pass along whatever you may find, and bring it back to us when you can. What we know is that the shipment is at the end of the month, and we'd like this operation to be completed by then. Once you return to True Arms, there will be all manners of rectification for your expulsion. You will once again be students. There will be no questions, there will be nothing. This is purely so that were they to have a spy or check their records of True Arms, they see that you are no longer part of our affiliation. This does mean that we cannot give you any assistance. For if there are truth spells of any kind, if they ask, are you helping them, or did they help you, you will be subject to telling the truth. However, we have arranged assistance elsewhere, so do not worry on that part. Yes, Mr. Crestwave.
What are we getting expelled for?
Oh, that's a good one.
I suppose I could... What we had originally planned was unchecked, unplanned, insane, aggravated aggression.
Could we actually... I mean, we probably need to actually commit something, right? Could we steal jewelry? Could we steal something? There's a vault, right? Let's steal something from a vault and then run away with it.
I'm pretty sure I've done enough to get us all expelled.
What?
I do not want to know, and I would prefer if you didn't say it in front of me as a teacher and the Dean of Student Activities.
Sure, don't ask, don't tell.
But you did tell without being asked.
Without, saying, if you would like to choose what you are expelled for, you can say, and I will jot that down as the reason. Of course, if you were then to go and do that afterwards, all that does is create more reliable witnesses for your alibi.
Can I be expelled for being too good at wrestling?
I don't think that's something we can expel. We could, and you watch as he kind of goes. We could say that you killed a student outside of an assigned duel. We have students who are incapable of dying, so...
Well, I guess I do have to act like a bad guy.
I've kind of got my image to think of, Professor. I hope it's...
Yeah, why would anyone here kill anybody?
I'm I think maybe we should do some like
Don't trust it
vandalism.
when you say that, Miss Greylock. That seemed very fake.
Hey, here's my suggestion, Professor. How about some vandalism, some serious vandalism, wherein a few months, like however long later, you figure out it was somebody else. Plausible deniability, right?
We could write that we hate cops on a cop headquarter.
I was thinking, I was thinking there's probably a photo of Rush Galestorm somewhere, a big portrait somewhere, isn't there? He's a notable alumnus who donates a lot to the school.
Fortunately, the way that our alumnus hall works is it is a moving portrait that is continuously added with large alumnus. And as such, your father is also on there. And knowing you, I do not think you want to deface a piece of artwork with your father on it.
No, it's just him, really.
Well, I hate to not be... Okay, wouldn't it make sense if Geraldine was the one who did something and we had to stand behind her? Wouldn't that kind of lend more credibility?
We did throw that idea about, but the issue there is that by most accounts, you've only been in school for less than a month. Why would you stand behind someone you had known for less than a month and follow them into death?
Because I think she's pretty.
That is a good reason for some.
I mean, I have a plausible alibi if we want to aid and abet insurrectionists.
I once again do not think that this is something that I would like to
Professor,
remind you...
this is information you have about the prophecies of the sun.
But you're saying you have a plausible alibi for aiding them. That sounds like you did, in fact, aid insurrectionists, and you are trying to subtly let me know.
Not quite, but I'm saying we could make it happen.
I think I have it. I think I have something that can...
Raph is just like... he is sitting back, and he is like... He seemed fairly, like, calm up to this point, but he's truly beginning to grasp the makeup of this group and is looking at everybody like, these are the guys that we are sending into this?
Murderous tiefling, dragon terrorist.
Mux, could Kyler pull out
Fuck a second dragon.
the spell scroll of Nether's Mischief?
He could indeed.
And just kind of hold it and be like, we could just go let this off in the cafeteria. It's pretty harmless, but it's a disruption. I'm 99% sure of what Nether's Mischief does. Let me just check.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not like it's not a damage spell. I think it's a 20-foot cube.
Yeah, a 20-foot cube that you see is surged with fey and draconic magic.
Mm-hmm.
You roll on the mischievous surge table, much like the devious lick table, to determine the magical effect produced, and roll again at the start of each turn until the spell ends. This is a minute long, so if you just throw this and just wait, the effect will change 10 times. Sorry, six times.
It's a minute. Six, yeah, it'd be 10 because it's a turn 6 seconds. Yeah, 6 seconds. Yeah. So and we can move it 10 feet each time, so we can just cover the whole dining area. It's like 20 feet cube.
Crump goes, I have an idea, and pulls out the deck of many things. Is it top? No, not. Yeah.
Look. Before we start getting into the why of expelled, we
stop a second. Keep in mind what you're about to say, Drizian. Everybody, let me know your passive perceptions right now.
17.
11.
14.
have a +6.
Your plus.
Underneath that, where it says passive whiz, passive int.
Where? Oh! Passive perception?
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
16.
10 plus your modifier.
The girls. There's one less card in that fucking deck than there was a day ago.
Where is Kronk in relation to where GB is?
Kronk is directly opposite you.
Where in relation to me?
GB will look up for the first time and make
Yes.
eye contact with someone in the room.
Will it be me?
No, it'll be Kronk,
Oh, true.
as he's pulled out the deck of many things.
There was 4 cards, there is now 3.
Should I? I could. In the.
Kronk,
Yeah. Yeah.
what? Is that how you got so strong all of a sudden?
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Yeah, I drew a card and I got muscles big. It was like it gave me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right. Okay.
That's very lucky.
I was already strong. Don't say it's how I got so strong. I was already really strong. It just made me a little stronger. I wanted to tell you guys, but we had to do a big fight. You remember?
Where is
I don't
Raph
exactly.
in reference to GB?
Raph is... He was originally in between
Like in
you and
front of
Kronk,
me, yeah.
but he's now like slightly behind you and off to like... If you are the center of a compass and Kronk is north,
Yeah.
Drazian and Lilith are to your east.
Okay.
Kyler is to your south.
Okay.
Raph is kind of to your south by west.
Okay.
So he's like over beside Kyler right now, and as he sees this and hears this, Kyler, you're the one to notice because Raph is right beside you. Raph is just at a student having like a deck of many things is just.
Yeah, did you ever hear the tragedy of the gambler?
You've got to know when to fold them, know when to hold them.
I'm
I didn't
holding
think
them.
You know when to
right
walk
now.
away, know when to run.
I didn't think it was a story that the Landwalkers would tell you. Yeah, but basically, you know, like the gambler's deck of various things. Yeah, that was in the Hell's Prairie lab. But this is harmless. It's, you know, and it's a harmless prank, and we can just say we were framed. I mean, someone could do disguise self. It's super duper easy. But I suppose
Look,
we need to know if we're going.
yeah.
GB is going to turn around, like, sort of like, turn herself still sitting on the coffee table and look at Raph and say, this is not going to work. They're not going to buy any of these excuses. It has to be believable, or they won't let me home. I need to be able to give them some type of information that works for them too, to earn some of their trust back.
Geraldine.
Expel me for scrying, for being in restricted areas, for having access to information I shouldn't, and let me tell them. I need something.
Geraldine,
for
will this
them
be safe for
to
you? Never mind us like doing stuff to get expelled. Even if we do convince them, is this safe for you to do?
Does it sound it?
I mean, we fought a chimera. I don't know if
Like,
safe is the limit.
Safe, it doesn't matter. But if I'm going to do this, it needs to be convincing. And no offense, a food fight or a deck of many things card pull or none of this is going to convince my family I've been expelled from the place I wanted to run away to and want to somehow come back and work for the family.
A second. Didn't we almost kill a teacher? Wouldn't that be?
I would like to use that as an excuse, unfortunately. Well, fortunately and unfortunately, Professor Udice is recovering well.
Oh, that's great news.
Raph kind of settles into the chair that would be to the west of you, Geraldine. You bring up a good point. Your family will need something in return if we are to be able to get you in there. It needs to be something that will make you run away from the school as well, I suppose. Something to
Yeah.
harm the school's image.
Avadar True Arms nudes.
Those are not bad.
That'd probably up enrollment, to be honest.
You watch.
Is
He kind of sits back and he puts his hands like this, and it brings them to his chin. You watch as he pulls out a necklace that is around his neck, and he seems to focus on it for a second, and from him expands this thin red veil that surrounds all of you. No one in this space can be heard by anybody outside this space. This cuts off all form of clairvoyance, scrying, anything of the sort. What I'm about to say to you, all of you, remains within this space. You say that your family needs something on the School of True Arms to be able to bring you back into their fold. You watch as he kind of sits back and he rubs his head, and he looks quite stressed. There are many things that are known about the School of True Arms. Some of them are open talks, and some of them are secrets that we did not want to let out. But unfortunately, they did. And you can see he looks really uneasy. Almost like he's about to be sick. And he leans into the table. There has been many a chance for Avadar True Arm to do things that he shouldn't have done. Kill people he should not have killed. To put power into places that he should not have the decision to put power into. He looks at you for a second, Drazian, and he goes, "Your country was not involved in this. But on the eastern sea of the land of the Ayazarian theocracy, Avadar found it more beneficial to eliminate the leaders of a number of countries rather than allowing the citizens to be killed. This did not include Avon. That was all of the theocracy's choice.
I know. I was there.
but many of the countries past Avon on the seafront.
The city-states, my friends.
Yes.
And you see Jurazian's fist clench.
What you have to understand is that he saw the heads of 6 or 7 leaders incomparable to thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives. The reason we tell you this, and the reason that I believe this is something of note, it breaches Avadar's promise of neutrality. He has promised not to take part in wars, to be a sort of global peacehold. If you were to attack somewhere else with significant power that he deemed something too much, too far, he will step in. But he broke that neutrality to save lives.
I have
by
a
taking
question.
them.
By doing this, did this allow the theocracy to seize control of those areas?
It did.
But, Professor, you said they were going to anyway, right?
They were going to, but there are some that believe that if Avadar had not done this, those areas may have held out. Statistically and by all show of example, that was not the case. And Avadar, being strong but not a fortune teller, decided that this was more of an acceptable loss. The heads of 6 kings for the lives of 6 million countrymen. I allow you
Can I insight check him? He said no one can detect into the ring. He didn't say it was a zone of truth.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to roll insight, and then before you tell me the result, I want to perhaps channel divinity.
Yeah, that's fine.
So this guidance, so that's +3. And then insight. It's a nat 1, so I'm going to channel divinity on that for a total
Prophetic
of
screw up.
Yeah, prophetic screw up, and take a 27 on insight.
Yep. He looks at you and he goes, "Everything I'm telling you is the truth." And he's not lying.
Just mark off my channel divinity.
Do you think this besmirching of Avadar's name would be enough to convince your family? Something that made you approach the staff here, challenge them for this knowledge, and get you expelled because you could not be in a school of someone who promises peace and neutrality but is essentially the only power play in the world.
A warmonger.
Maybe. They probably know. Like,
We have tried our best to keep this secret, so if they do know, there's only one other thing, and I would not like that to be known until it is absolutely necessary.
if there's something that you want me to know but only use if I absolutely need it, that's okay too. But going back, it's not going to be welcoming me with open arms. They're going to be suspicious.
Raph looks at all of you. All of you, please leave this circle except for Miss Boulevard.
Kyle's gonna look at GB and just be like, "Will I?"
She is safe. No harm will come to her. This is something only she can know.
GB will
Kyler-
nod at Kyler.
Yeah, it's waiting for her assent. When he gets it, he kind of stands, calls Trina up from the floor, and just swings the door of the office open. And just leaves.
Is there any
Okay,
way
it's like
that
gone? Sorry. Yeah.
is there any way that Lilith can go to hug Geraldine and hide
Leave
Malort
Malort.
on her? Mm-hmm.
If you'd like to, you're welcome to roll a sleight of hand check.
Okay. The 17.
You can, if you would like to.
Would I notice?
You would notice, because you would feel the spider beginning to crawl along you after it was placed on you.
I'm gonna pick the spider up and put it back on Lilith's hand. And say, I'll be okay.
Raph kind of looks up at Lilith and he smirks and he chuckles a bit and he goes, I can see why you're getting good grades in some of your classes.
You fucking knew.
I want you guys to remember that Raph is the Dean of Student Activities. Imagine the perception and the insight that he has. Because he
That's
has
fair,
to,
but
he
I
has-
had to try.
he has to tell if a student is lying and see if a student is doing anything they shouldn't do. He looks at the three of you that are still in there, Lilith, Drazian, and Kronk, and is just awaiting to see if you guys will get up and leave or not.
Get up and walk.
Yeah. I'll leave. I'm mad.
Yeah,
Lilith
no,
has had a bat.
Drazian's
She's not.
pissed.
She's cranky.
Kronk just kind of pensively and slowly stands up and walks out. Just, you can tell that Kronk's thinking kind of hard.
Geraldine, what goes on within the next 3 minutes, the first time you experience them, as you're told the secret that you're told, is intense and terrifying. But as Raph grabs your hand and holds it, the memory of those 3 minutes is gone, and you look into his eyes, and he says to you, that will only come back to you when you need it. I am sorry. You still feel the heaviness and the breathlessness in your chest, and as you reach up and feel your eyes, your face is wet, streaming with tears. You have no idea why. All you can remember is that Kronk got up and left the room, and then Raph was holding your hand, telling you that you wouldn't remember something. But you have no idea what he's talking about. He hasn't told you anything yet. That is not something we can have getting out. The moment it is deemed necessary for you to have that knowledge, it will come rushing back to you. And I pray you do not judge me for what I have told you, nor judge this school for that secret. There is nothing that we can do.
I think GB's gonna sort of try to collect herself a little bit and, like, wipe her face off and take a deep breath and say, okay, now what?
If you accept, then you go to the headquarters of the Paladins of Selenia. If you do not, then you go home. You rest easy, eat a nutritious lunch, and sleep calm in your own bed tonight. But should you go to the Paladins of Selenia, then by midnight tonight you will be on your way to Nulanet. And he holds the necklace again, and you watch as this thin red veil shrinks, returning back to the necklace, and he stands up. He is quite a tall guy. He's like 6.5, 6.5 feet, like maybe 6'8". And he kind of looks down at you as you're still like cross-legged on the table. And he puts a hand down and he ruffles your hair very gently. And he just goes, I'm sorry that you're only a child that has to go through this. And he turns and walks into his office and closes the door behind him. You're left alone there, sitting on the coffee table of the staff lounge. There's as many moments of silence as Geraldine needs to take to gather herself before... Oh, go ahead.
No, go on.
There's as many moments of silence as Geraldine needs to take before you stand, turn, and leave the the staff lounge. We're going to take a very quick 15-minute break there. I've been brought a lovely snack by my wife. Cookies.
Huzzah.
My daughter's Elsa Anna frozen plate. Don't know if it's gonna. There we go.
Oh, cute.
Oh,
Thank you, stream wench. And
Wonderful.
here we go. Tank of the milk.
Milk? Let's go.
Malk.
Malk!
And also titties in the doorway.
Titties
This
in
is
the
amazing.
doorway.
How could my night get better? How could my night get better?
We'll find out, Max. We'll find out.
Oh, damn. Whole ass out in the doorway.
Hell yeah. Dudes
So
in
we're
the
going to take
doorway.
we're going to take a 15-minute break there, guys. We'll be back just after what would that be? Just after 25 to whatever the hour is where you are.
Cool.
And we'll see you then.
Cool. See you in a bit, guys.
So anyway, the troll's ass was like this big. And
So
like,
anyway,
Chris, you should have been there. So, back from that break, hopefully back from the emotional trauma that I inevitably caused.
No.
No,
But
never.
we move. Fuck it,
But-
fuck
but
it, we ball.
move. Fuck it, we ball.
The other
Apparently, I
one,
work like Megan Thee Stallion. I forgot this wasn't a podcast. My bad. Anyway, D&D.
Megan, these nuts in your mouth?
the rest of the group, bar Geraldine, for those couple of minutes that Geraldine was there with Raph, where did the rest of you guys go?
To the water.
To the water?
The water? Yeah, to the water.
Kronk wanted to ask Drazian a question.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
When they were both like right outside the office, Kronk goes,
Yes. Kronk, you kind of like jog a little bit and catch up with Drazian, who's still like heaving with anger.
Drazian, you're kind of a king prince boy, right?
Yeah.
If you could have died to save all your friends at Avon, would you have done it?
Someone did do that. It was my grandfather. My grandfather died, and my father, who was king, surrendered and got me, my mum, Dren, my mentor, and a load of people I cared about onto a boat. But the problem is, there's people that are still in Avon that aren't free. And for me to be willing to die, it would have to mean that they would be free. To save them and for them to live and live free, I'd absolutely give my life for that. But only if they were free.
So it's better for them to be dead than it is for them to be alive in that situation?
There's a lot of people who would rather die than live in horrible circumstances. My people don't have good lives right now. They don't have good lives at all.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, the numbers make sense, right? Like 6 for 6 million. Like, I would probably die if it was going to save 1 million people, right? It's a good ratio.
But people want statistics.
But does that make me selfish if I have the opportunity to die for 1 million people and I don't? Does that make me selfish? Does that make me a killer because 1 million people die?
No, that because things like this are not down to individuals. The only fault, the people who are at fault for the death of people that die are those that kill them. You deciding that, or me deciding that, no, I won't die. I don't want to die. That doesn't make you selfish. That makes you human. The people who are at fault are those who do the killing. Those people, the one that Professor Raff said that died, I knew them. My father, my father and my grandfather had a lot of meetings with these guys, and I was there. They were good people that cared about their countries. The Iazarian theocracy has so much to answer for, and it's not a popular opinion, but I believe Avidar Truearm does too.
So
you don't get to take people who have not done wrong. You don't get to have their lives in your hand. Avada Truon may have killed an elder being or a god, but he's not a god. Doesn't have the right to do that.
Does that mean? But your whole thing is to kill the Izarian theocracy. You want to kill the people that killed your people. Killing them would stop the murder of a lot of people. But wouldn't that be...
But they're the people that do the killing. The heads of those nations didn't do the killing. They're innocent people. Killing innocents and killing people who deserve it are two... I admit they're complex conversations, but they are two separate things.
Okay. Does Avadar Truon have a family? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know much about him.
If he killed these people to try to save people, he tried to be good, but he killed innocent people, and so that makes him bad. But if he's bad, but he has a family, he's good to his family. Dracian, this is hard for me to understand. I don't know who's good and who's bad.
Buddy, it's hard for me to understand too. I've been trying to figure out who's good and bad for the past 5 years, and it's tough. It's fucking tough. I don't know if I'm good or bad. You've seen me. I've gone after people who do bad things. Does that make me a bad person because I kill people who are bad to protect innocent people? I don't know. All I know is that each one of us is trying our best, and I think the world will be a lot simpler when there hopefully comes a time when people like the Izarian theocracy don't exist anymore. Because if it wasn't for them, none of this would be a problem. And you hear Drazian's voice fucking break.
Alright, I'm worried because if we're gonna act like bad guys, then what if a good guy thinks it's alright to kill us then? My mom and my dad would be really sad about that. But what if other people are just acting like bad guys as well? Or they're forced into it? Or like, what if somebody in Avon is forced to be a bad guy because they got taken over by good guys that were trying to be good guys, that were trying to be bad guys, that are now bad guys because they were trying to be good guys? I don't understand this.
Kronk, it's funny you bring that up because that's what's happening to my father right now. His body is being taken over and he's been forced to act like a bad guy by the theocracy. I don't think he deserves to die because of that. But it's hard.
If he did die, wouldn't that stop everything? Would that be a good thing or a bad thing? He's not a bad person, but he's being taken over. So it'd be a good thing to kill him. So he would not be a bad person, but
it wouldn't stop it because if my father goes down this, then the theocracy still exists. They're like a poison. Do you know how hydras work? Have you heard of the creature, the hydra?
yeah, I think I had the opportunity to fight one once, but it had a lot of heads, if I recall. And
Yeah,
then
it has
more.
5 heads, and if you chop one off, 2 more take its place. You
it
have to take it
sounded
down.
complicated.
That's
I'm not
that's
too
the
good at math,
theocracy.
so
That's how the theocracy works. So if someone kills my father, 2 more things appear. Two more good people get used by the theocracy. You have to kill this thing at the root of the problem. Which is what I plan to do. When I get strong enough, I want to take out the root of the problem. And if that means I go too, then I go too. But
does that mean we have to kill Geraldine's family?
no, that Geraldine's family are associated with the theocracy, but I don't think they're right. They're not the root of the theocracy. Geraldine's family is more complicated than even I can like figure out, because here's the thing, Kronk. I'm a soldier. I'm a warrior. I'm a prince. I've done a lot of diplomacy. You've not really seen much of it, but I come from a very diplomatic background. I'm used to negotiating with people. But Geraldine's family, that's a whole new thing. Whitefawn is a very scary place to me, Kronk. Things here don't make sense. Because back where I come from, at least I know who I'm fighting. At least I know who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. Here, I don't know my arse from my fucking elbow. I don't know what's going on, and I'll be honest, Big Guy, I'm scared. I'm really fucking scared. I'm scared that we're about to go into a fucking death trap that's going to get all of us killed. And I don't like this. I don't like any of this.
Well, as long as we take out some bad guys, right? I don't know. This is a lot to think about. My head hurts. I think I need to go sit down.
Yeah, go sit down, buddy.
And Kronk goes to find some like courtyard or something to sit down in.
I assume like Lilith's not too far away.
I figured I was listening to all of this happen.
Yeah. As Kronk walks away, Drazen just finds a wall and fucking sinks down. Just
I feel like Lilith is. I was going to say, I just feel like Lilith is being Drazen's emotional support tiefling right now. Just right there.
Yeah, Lilith will go sit next to Drazen.
This fucking sucks.
I don't really think Lilith knows what to say. So I guess she'll just like put her hand out, and if Drazen wants to hold it, he can.
I take her hand. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place lately. Right now, there's a lot, and I'm not really good with dealing with all these things. I'm used to things being simple. Point me in direction of bad guy, fight. I can do that. Negotiate with political leaders or whatever. That I can do. The magic, I can do that. All this fucking subterfuge, not knowing who's on my side, who's not on my side. It's a lot, and I don't really know how to handle it. So I'm sorry. I'm a mess. I know that's not what you signed up for.
That's okay. It's usually where I spend all my time alone, because I don't like it either.
Yeah. Nothing...
It's much easier when you keep everyone else away.
Yeah. But as well, I don't want to be the person that keeps everyone else away, but how am I supposed to know who's safe to have near and who's not? Obviously you. Like, you've had my back and are amazing, and I've not really had this kind of romantic thing much. Yeah, a little bit when I was younger, but nothing like this, and I'm not really good at this, and I'm trying, and I'm probably not doing a great job, and I know I can trust you, and that helps a lot, but I don't know which way's fucking right or left when I'm here. This place, Whitefawn's scary. It's fucking terrifying.
It is, and I don't know who to trust either, but I'm with you in this.
I appreciate that. And I'm sorry if I haven't really been there for you much lately. I know you've had your own thing where you've had to go and do stuff, and like I don't like to pry or nosy and stuff that's not really my business, but if you ever need to talk, I'm here for whatever that's worth.
Tracy.
As the two of you sit there in this arched stone hallway, your voices kind of echoing off the cold and hard surfaces. You're there for a while as time passes. During that time, not too far from there, out through the hallways, past the grounds, past the students that bustle back and forth from class at the edge of the water, sitting is Kyler.
I was gonna say, on the way out, does Skylar encounter anyone notable as he like storms away?
Nobody notable enough that you would see them through the kind of red haze that
Yeah,
there
no
is.
thunder, gale storm
No.
appearing or anything. Nothing.
No.
Like no acceptable anger
Yeah.
conduit there. Yeah, Kyler's gonna. Well, they've agreed to take the mission, right? So on the way out, kind of along like one of the long hallways with these stained glass windows, Kyler's going to repeatedly booming blade the wall to just with the thunder damage just shatter all the glass in one of the corridors.
Okay.
Just like all the way, and just like the whole way up, just kind of ringing Trina off the wall, and just like these little sound, and then just heads down to the beach, where he was like telling Shenjo to meet him.
As you kind of stand there waiting for Shenjo to travel, you hear the small pitter patter of kind of hefty but quickened steps beside you. Then you hear a voice. You're right, lad. Don't look like you're doing too well.
Kyler's gonna spin around to see who it is. Not like aggressively, but like quite quickly kind of turn and like look and then base his reaction appropriately.
There's this heavy set dwarf, balding on top, thinning, scraggly beard, which is strange for a dwarf. Wearing these kind of, it looks like a white shirt or like a pale cream shirt with overalls over it, and he looks like he's got something in hand.
What is it? Like, is it like a weapon or?
It looks like a stick with like a hole at the end of it. You're not quite sure what it is.
Okay.
As he sees you look at it, he goes, "Oh, don't worry, it's just me multi-tool." And he shakes it and it turns into a rake, and then he shakes it again, it turns into a shovel.
Fair enough. Yeah. Kyler kind of nods and then strains a smile and just goes, "Yeah, man. I just got some inspiration is all. The air is thick with hypocrisy, and something is rotten in the state of White Fawn, but I am undaunted."
Well, you may say you're undaunted, but you sound like you're full of piss and vinegar, friend. You ain't got much of a smile on your face.
I'm sorry, sir. Who are you?
Well, I'm one of the janitors here at True Arms. For what's actually needed, the school's bloody alive, it looks after itself. But every now and again it forgets to take care of itself, and one of us gets called in. Looks like that's what you've forgotten to do. Look, take care of yourself.
I'm fine, dude. I got a mission and a goal, and needs must, you know?
Funny you say that. And he kind of walks up beside you and he shakes it again. and you watch as it turns into a fishing rod. This multi-tool,
Yeah.
and he pulls a little box out of his back pocket, and it's some bait. And you watch as he kind of goes through the process of putting the bait on the hook, raveling everything up, and then casting it out. You say needs must, and you say about hypocrisy. How do those fit together in your mind?
I just want people to know who they are, the way that I know who I am, you know?
And who are you?
Haven't you heard of me? And Kyler's gonna... Is this place a good spot for fishing? Or is this like...
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, as much as any of the lake is, it's just kind of. It looks like he's just doing some like beachside fishing.
Kyler's gonna fling Trina into the water and like try and spear a fish. Do you want me to roll to hit or something?
No, it's okay. As you throw it in, and then you call Trina back, there's nothing on it, and you just kind of absent-mindedly do it while you wait for Shanjo to come towards you.
You haven't heard of me. Well,
Not a clue.
Well, I'm Kyler. Just... Yeah.
I'm Nondi.
Andy.
Nondi. Nondy. Nondi.
Sorry, these accents, man, they don't hit my ear right sometimes. Sound travels better underwater. Nandi. Cool. I think there might be some broken glass somewhere in the school that might be worth looking at. But thank you, Nandi.
As you're kind of like throwing Trina and calling her back, you're not really looking at Nandi. And as you say about the broken glass, he goes, "You seem to know my place. Maybe it's time to find yours, Songbird. Maybe it's time to find it." And as you look back, he's gone.
Is the fishing rod still there?
Fishing rod is not still there.
Kyler recalls Trina, like for a last time.
There is a fish on it this time.
Fish on this time. Is Shenjo nearby?
Shanjo is pulling up. You can see kind of the waves of his movement under the water and the way that kind of affects the surface of the water. You can see that beginning to crest towards you.
Cool. Kyler's gonna surging smite the fish to cook it with radiant energy.
You watch it does kind of almost internally explode.
Yeah, like a microwave popcorn thing. Yeah.
And then you watch as the skin kind of slops off from the impact. But there's now a lovely white fillet of fish.
Kyler's gonna... As Shenjo approaches, I go, and, here you go, buddy. And throws it out to him. To snapping up,
Now, while everything else is going on here, everybody's dealing with their own thing. Rounding back to the person who, for all intents and purposes, has the final say on this. Geraldine, from the moment you leave that staff lounge, what do you do?
How far of a walk is it home?
A walk would probably be about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your speed.
Um. I think she's going to walk home and try to gather all of her thoughts about what she's about to do, and I want her. She's gonna text Jax.
Okay.
And all she's gonna say is, I'm coming home. Will I see you soon?
Within seconds, you see the red notification pop up. The 3 little dots appear, and they kind of cycle for a few turns. And then they disappear. Just as you're about to put your phone away, you feel it vibrate once again in your hand. You feel your pixie vibrate in your hand. And you look at the phone, and Jax has only said home or New Lynette. This being because Jax is primarily based in New Lynette. This is, well, it's still like the kind of where your family operates from. This is not their, like, they don't live
Like, not residents, yeah. But GB's just gonna text back NL.
There's no response, but you watch as a thumbs up, like in reply to the message, appears. This doesn't sit super easy in your stomach because Jax has maybe never been the nastiest of the bunch to you, per se. She's also never been the nicest. And from this little interaction, you can't super tell what her intentions are. As you exit out of the conversation with Jax, you see the group text chain beneath it. And the most recent thing just being Kyler's name and click the link. And in that moment, you think of Kyler and you're brought back to how he acted in that staff lounge. And then you're brought further back and you're brought back to how he acted with his sister. How he's the oldest and how he acted towards his younger siblings. Whether you want to send anything into the group chat is up to you, but that is where your mind is pulled to.
What time of day is it?
This time it's just after noon.
And we'd have to leave same day?
You would be leaving by midnight tonight. The Professor Raff said all of your preparations can be done at the headquarters of the Paladins of Selenia.
Um, I think she's going to send a message in the group and say she's heading home to pack. And if anyone is wanting to come with her, she'll welcome it, but if they don't want to, she's going to go either way.
Okay.
Can Kyler reply?
Gather,
To
you're
the-
currently on the back of Shenzhou, but yeah, you can reply.
Yeah. Chilling. Who else is gonna sink ships? Is that no emojis? No, just that's the reply.
Am I still sitting with Drazian?
You are.
Mhm.
Both of your phones
Okay.
go off at the same time.
Okay.
They
What do you
both on
want to do?
vibrate. Just
Was that? Sorry, you was talking at the same time.
No, I was just gonna look up at Drazian and whatever you're gonna do.
All right. Yeah. Best get going and get ready then.
I think Lilith is just gonna respond in the group chat. Drazy and I are with you.
Okay. Gronk, you see all these messages pop up on the phone. If you want to respond on something, you can. If you don't want to say anything, that's also a completely valid answer.
I think Kronk actually doesn't see this. I think Kronk
Okay.
like hears buzzes going off, but
He's
I
in
think
his own. Yeah.
his pixie's maybe off to the side. He's sitting on a bench, maybe feeding some birds on a bench or something, trying to just kind of think through things. Maybe he got some bread from the cafeteria, he's throwing it to some birds in
Yeah.
the courtyard.
Unfortunately, there is no mystical entity of wiser knowledge that appears to Kronk like it did to Kyler. You're right. I'm Nandi.
There's just a squirrel watching him for some reason.
oh, you're not an Aquan. I can have a go. I can have a fucking bash.
Don't know about your kind.
It's a
You live in the
platypus.
mountains. You live in the
What's the
mountains.
best?
That's
What's the
opposite the
best?
sea.
It's Jerry the platypus.
Jerry the platypus.
Jenny,
The platypus.
I was never a member of the organization with a complicated acronym.
So as that is happening, Kyler, you're back at the house, presumably packing your stuff by the time you hear the door downstairs creak open and heading through the door is Geraldine. You guys have the house for, I would say, another 30 minutes before anybody would be into the house. I don't know if you want to go downstairs and acknowledge her, if you want to do anything.
Yeah, I feel like Kyler probably would. Kind of mosey on down and kind of lean against the door frame with a clunk. He's just like, "What's the plan, Capitan?"
Chibi's gonna look up at Kyler. Very obviously have been sobbing and kind of in a way like distant, like she's here but not really mentally there, and just says, I'm sorry to have put everyone in this position, and I know you're upset, and I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I have a right to. Um, but listen, I mean, whether or not you were here or whether or not I knew doesn't change the fact that it happened. So, listen, I mean, there's, I guess, a nice truth and a harsh reality. Both of those hurt, but only one's still the truth. So, of course, within the tendrils of the deep one, there are infinite truths and infinite realities, but in this current reality, there's one. What's up? Like, really? I mean, what did he tell you that we're not supposed to know?
I don't remember. He told me
Not bad then.
he told me I wouldn't remember, and that if I needed to know, I would remember.
Cool. That's super. He's a pacifist. That's very deceptive of him. Listen,
I remember how it felt hearing, though.
Was the general takeaway not good?
Probably the worst things I've ever heard.
Huh. Sure. Here, where's is GB sitting down? Is she standing?
I feel like she just got in the house, right? Like, you're in the doorway?
I think
Or-
Kyle came from downstairs from packing, so on the steps.
You probably met halfway. Like Geraldine was coming into like the main living room, and Kyler was coming down the stairs.
Yeah, that tracks.
Kyle's gonna reach out a heavy weight, like plated hand, and just unless like she dodges or whatever, and I have to make a fucking touch AC check. Goes to goes to put his hand on her head, like on her hair, and just kind of give it a light ruffle. Which is probably about, I don't know, shoulder height for him.
How tall is Kyler?
Like 6 foot flat. Like
Yeah, okay, fair.
yeah.
So
Just
5'9".
kind of just kind of looks there for a second and goes, I mean, maybe he would. There's a bunch of people doing what they think is right, and probably Sir Truearm thought he was doing the right thing. And if I can put up with the antics of some other people who have done objectively less good, then I can probably deal with this. But it's never going to be something I'm going to do. Number one's going to look a lot different from where I'm standing. Do you need anything? And then Kenneth drops the hand.
Similar to how GB has these conversations with Kronk. She's gonna sort of step forward towards Kyler and like lean her head on his chest and just give him a hug.
It's very much metal to face.
She doesn't care.
Like it's, yeah, don't just adjusting for speed here. Yeah, Kyler kind of nods and wraps a friendly arm kind of around the back of her shoulders. Just holds there for a second. It's like, yeah, the world's a bit more screwed up than when I woke up this morning. I don't know. I'm excited to meet your sister. Is she like nice or
Is she hot, bro?
Is she
Like,
hot?
She's not the worst of them,
okay?
but
Is
she's not particularly warm.
she strong?
Yeah.
Ballpark it for me.
scale of 1 to 20.
Does she have an adventure?
This hasn't been approved in canon, so I'm not really sure. But I currently have her slated as level 12.
Okay.
I don't really know where that is in canon, Mux, but she is considerably older than GB, so I would assume her levels have heightened with that too.
Give us the
Ooh.
rank. Give us the adventurer's rank.
Does she have a rank? Yeah.
Geraldine wouldn't know.
I have no idea.
Don't you have to go to the academy to get a rank?
Didn't she? And you don't.
You don't.
Geraldine is the first in her family to pursue non-private education.
Fair enough.
Ours is a public school? Ugh.
Community college.
Blech.
Subsidized schooling.
Where's Jeff Winger?
Y'all got me going to public school? Ugh.
Could I do something kind of mechanically here? I don't know if it's quite how it works.
No, cats, you can't do the robot.
I would like to after that, Kylo's gonna like pull his arm back after the hug's been held for a minute. Take the glove between his teeth. Pulls it free, whatever,
Yeah.
and then just puts the. I mean, it is still scales, but it's a bit smoother on the hands onto GB's cheek, and casts heroism, so that to really alleviate the fear and trepidation. Bait and switch.
You do feel as it's strange as Kyler caresses your face for a moment, your heartbeat quickens and you feel blood rush to your face and your breathing gets shallow. But as he holds your face, that all goes away, and for a moment this single perfect in a state of imperfectness moment, you're staring into Kyler's eyes and every part of your body just relaxes and you breathe and your heartbeat slows, and for however long that moment lasts for Geraldine, it is her and a pair of blue eyes that stare back at her.
Kylo's will move. Kylo's concentrating on the spell.
How long does this last? Like, is it like an effect?
Up
like a
to a
minute.
minute.
Yeah. You just can't be frightened, and you get like what is it? Your spellcasting ability modifier, so 5 hit points as well for a minute.
So
You
you
also
can
get
slap
buff
her
as
once to get
fuck.
away with it.
I think maybe like 30 or so seconds in, as she just like starts to like calm her breath down a little bit, she'll like stand back and just say thanks. I'm glad you'll be with me. I
Well,
hope everyone else will too, but if they don't, I understand.
I mean, I went for a bit of corporate espionage.
As you guys are finishing this conversation,
Espionage.
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 It's Italian.
As you guys, about 15 seconds after you finally step away, Geraldine, the door opens and in walks Drazian and Lilith. You and Kyler, at one point only inches apart, are now about 2 feet apart from each other as you've kind of like stepped back.
Provoking an attack of opportunity.
You fool!
Kyler's refastening his glove and just like, pleasant walk.
Something like that.
Lilith walking into Kyler, putting his glove back on, looking at Geraldine.
Oh!
Did y'all just pull a Curly's wife?
Second dying cast of Mike's.
Oh my god! I love that book.
Same.
Think of the bunnies.
Ironically,
Think of the rabbits.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And Kyle's got a little bit of sharpness in his eyes, but it's not too bad. It's not murderous. It's not like, fuck you, I'll kill you. It's just, are you coming to the New Lynette?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm gonna go and find Kelrus, see if he doesn't mind getting food for Azuria while we're away.
Yeah, we have a house sitter now.
Yeah, cool. And I don't want to risk her now that she's, by the way, very substantially bigger overnight. That's apparently a thing that happens. I'm not risking her in New Lynette, so.
Yeah, fair enough. Lilith, do you need to pack anything?
I know everything I need. I already have.
Super dark. I'm gonna go find Kronk because he hasn't replied to anything, and also I smashed a bunch of windows, so getting expelled. And then Kyler's gonna swing the door open and like put gloved fingers in his mouth and just whistle, even though we can communicate telepathically with Shenjo, as for the bit, and sets off to go look for Kronk.
Yeah.
Bye, Chris.
Kronk's
Hi,
nowhere
Chris.
to be found.
Kronk leaves the existence of Ultanian.
A spy who didn't want to be found.
This was the payment that the Wizard of Stupendor never told you about.
Your soul is now forfeit.
Okay, Percival Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
Life
Jason
needs-
Derulo. Yeah, I don't know what name you just said, but it definitely was that.
Percival Friedrichstein von Musel Klosowski Derulo III.
There are two
Jason Derulo.
types of people in this D&D campaign.
Listen up, Percival Derulo. Jason Derulo?
That's like a VeggieTale. Jason Derulo?
It's very Kermit
It really
of you.
did.
Oh my
No,
god.
it sounded like the gourd.
I thought Jordan Peterson. Jason Derulo. He has
These young men, they're being influenced by the music of Jason Derulo.
and that's not good.
The gourd from VeggieTales, Kermit the Frog, and Jordan Peterson are all so much alike.
There's
in
too
their
much
voice.
overlap.
That Venn
Literally
diagram is a fucking circle!
Jordan
What's
Jordan
that gourd's
Peterson.
name? I gotta find that out.
Jordan Peterson is Kermit the Frog radicalized by divorce court.
Miss Piggy, she took me to the cleaners, and
Jimmy
I
Gourd.
Good God.
I gotta say,
Gordon.
the
For those who
way
don't know.
things that the way the war in Eltenian is going.
The way the eyes are appearing, it like
Right?
There is not a single thought behind those eyes.
I have seen into the soul of God. It is nothing but the void. I remain all...
I have seen the thrones of your god, and they were empty.
Pray that I
Happy,
succeed.
Look at
happy Dragon Age Day, everybody.
Look at me, King of Rats, and realize that you sit upon a throne of lies.
VeggieTales, but the main character is literally a fruit. Goddamn.
Why is this the next picture?
Right. So
The
I'm gonna go upstairs to Azuria, and I'm gonna, if Lilith is willing, I'm taking her with me.
Roll insight check. We about to fuck.
No, I a non-euphemism. I'm taking you to see my bigger dragon.
Oh, that's right. I guess I haven't seen. I have to pretend like I have no idea that I heard everything and saw things. So yeah sure.
Yeah, cause I don't fucking know shit. So.
No, and Lilith knows everything. Okay, great. Yeah, she'll go.
Okay. Right. I gonna go into my room to speak to Azuria. And like attempt to convince her to stay here. Otherwise, it's gonna be a very interesting next few steps.
Geraldine will also go up to her room and start getting ready.
Okay, no problem. If there's anything in particular that you would like to pack, let me know. As Drizzy and you take Lilith up to the room and open the door. Lilith, do you try to act shocked, or are you just like, yeah?
I think she's just gonna go, yep.
Oh my god, I never could have seen this coming.
Wow, your dragon's huge. It would be weird if people could talk to her, like Geraldine.
Wow, babe, that dragon's so big.
I had no idea.
Well, to be fair, Drazian has stated multiple times today that Azuria got really fucking big overnight.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, as you walk in, you see Azuria, who is still comfortably lying on the bed. And
with a fucking peg leg bone.
yeah, like gnawing on a peg leg bone, and has fallen asleep whilst doing so. There's a brief moment of recognition for you, Lilith, where you're like, this is why dragons only come out like once every month. They're just sleeping the rest of the time. Dragons have two modes: hibernate and collect taxes.
Damn, what are they? The fucking government?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Dragons are just fantasy IRS.
For a second, I thought you were going to say fantasy IRA, and I'm like, also true.
Yeah. Same thing. So, as you enter the room, Azuria kind of like stirs and turns her head and looks up and goes, I see that you have brought another one before me. Who is this?
This is, and I say this telepathically to him, this is Lilith. Lilith is very important to me. She is my, don't know what word dragons use for it, but my significant other person.
Is that what we are? We're putting names on it now? We're just gonna label it now?
You don't know shit. You don't know shit. This is all happening telepathically.
Is the door open?
No, the door's been closed behind.
Yeah.
This is a telepathic conversation happening. Lilith doesn't know shit about what Drazian's saying right now.
Right.
Also,
okay.
Draconic as well, isn't it?
Lilith doesn't know what's being said, but Lilith does, and you, Drazian, both watch as Azuria kind of laughs, like out loud. which is really weird coming from a dragon. But you watch as she goes, I know who this is. That was my attempt at what you call humor.
Very funny.
I have been with you for the entire time you have known Lilith. Is this not what a joke is?
Yes, you make an excellent point. It's been a really, really long day, and like a lot of stuff is happening. So my humor sense is, you probably have a much better sense of humor than I do right now.
I do believe that dragons, we have wings and you do not, so that is two aspects in which we are superior to you.
Probably many more as well, Azuria. Look, there's a thing, me and the rest of the gang have to go to another place. It's a city. It's really big. There's lots of people. It's probably far too crowded. Do you want to stay here and I can get Kelris to like go and like get you food every day? I know being apart isn't ideal and it's probably going to physically suck for me, but I don't want a city full of people causing you trouble and giving you a headache.
She takes herself off the bed and she does, the stretch that dogs do where the butt is in the air.
Yeah.
I think cats do it too, but I've never owned a cat. Where the butt is in the air and the like forelegs are out in front and the entire body just like goes at like a 45-degree angle.
Oh, big stretch.
Yep, does that. And then she kind of shakes herself, making a small like gust of wind with her wings and knocking more things off of a shelf.
At this point, I noticed the things on the bedside table. I've just fallen over. Like, right, okay.
And she just turns to you and she goes, if I have food and I have what I need to survive, I see no reason why I should put us both in danger.
Okay. Kelris will come in and leave food for you. He looks like he's got like a bird he looks kind of like a bird person. Don't eat him. He is friend.
I've not had chicken yet. I will try not to.
Okay, thank you. And then I say to Lilith, I'm like, so yeah, this is what she looks like now, which is, I know, yeah, that suddenly happened this morning, so I'm trying to come to terms with that along with everything else that's going on, but it's fine. I need to go and tell Kelris and convince him to feed this like fledgling dragon and convince him that that it's not going to eat him. So, is there anything you need and anything you want? Anything you need me to get you while I'm running around trying to figure what we need to take with us?
No, I think we have everything we need.
Okay. Right. And then whether Lilith comes with Drazen or not, I don't know, but Drazen's gonna go find Kelris and ask him to essentially look after his dragon while he's gone.
Lilith, before you leave the room, as Drazen heads out first, you don't understand Draconic, but you hear Azuria say something to you in Draconic and just stare blankly at you. And while you don't understand it, if you did, what you would have heard is, he should let you pack his clothes. You have the better sense of fashion. That way, you just hear.
Yeah.
Alduin?
Dovahkiin.
Voice Ruda.
I think Lilith is just gonna like nod and just like back out of the room and go to her room.
When that one kid comes up to you and tells you an incredibly dark and depressing fact and then smiles and you're like, okay.
That was a weird thing to say out loud. Just backing away into.
You didn't see anything.
So we'll say some time passes. Everybody does the preparation they need to do. Kronk, as you return to the home, is there anything you would like to do, or anything that anybody would like to interact with Kronk or anything?
Kyler's trying to text him to find him and bring him home. That was what he set out to do. So, if he replies at all.
I have a question in a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, what's the question?
How sentient is Syl? Like, if I have Solar Whisper on me all the time, is he aware of what goes on?
Oh, he's 100% aware. Every now and again, he'll be like, I'm trying to think of a really good. Every now and again, he'll kind of like just pass off a comment that's really like snobby and snooty and a little bit like dragging someone. He's kind of like your own pocket Michelle Visage.
Oh my god!
I was gonna say pocket drag queen.
Bestie. Yeah. When I'm in my room, can I ask what he thinks of this whole situation about going to this place?
What situation are you talking about?
Bitch, I know that you can hear everything that goes on.
But that's not the only situationship you're in, my dear, is it?
That's not what I was talking about, and you know it. I mean this very dangerous mission that we're all about to go on.
The way I see things, the more known that I am, the better. You go in this mission, you become some sort of... I hesitate to say angel, but angel of death, punishing the unrighteous. I become more known. And where will you get more of a chance to use me than on a dangerous mission where your life may be in every stake?
So you've been around a while. Do you know the name Boulevard?
I know the name. I have come in contact with a few boulevards in my time. I was never wielded by one, but one of my previous owners was very, very close with one.
Can I ask who that is?
I don't like to kiss and tell.
It's so dramatic.
Of course, I didn't do the kissing, or anything else that went on that night.
Fair enough. Keep your secrets.
Oh, I will. And you do the same.
And that's all that Lilith has. She's just wondering. She's just poking around, seeing what Syl knows.
Yeah, not a problem. Lilith just, I want to fuck the gun.
Literally.
Practice good trigger discipline.
Hey, yo.
No.
Don't worry. I may not need protection, but I've always got my safety on.
I guess
Lilith.
Lilith does like finger Syl all the time, so.
Do you have protection? Yeah. I keep that thing on me.
I'm carrying a gun with me. That's the only audio I think about.
Oh, Carrie. Jesus.
Then, while Lilith and her sentient fucking Barrett are talking in the bedroom, Kronk, do you respond to any of Kyler's texts, or do you just ignore everything until you're home? Or do you
Pretty much
just go
like-
home?
You want to ride home with me and Shenjo? Sorry,
Kronk is
I sound,
kind of twirling around absent-mindedly his little wand that he has, just kind of thinking about stuff. Here's the buzz from Kyler, and responds, "Courtyard," and just goes back to kind of waving the wand around. Well, it just is gonna wait for Kyler to get there, I think.
how far is
skill?
Mhm.
Okay.
how far is the courtyard from like the waterfront?
20-minute journey? Like 20-minute from the house to the courtyard.
Yes, if they're like on the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then asks Shenjo nicely, "Can you take me up to adjacent to the courtyard, and I'll jog up?"
The main journey of that is across the water. So
Happy days.
yeah, you manage to about 15 minutes, 20 minutes after you respond, Kronk, you hear Kyler's plated boot steps coming up beside you.
Hey man.
Hey, Kyler. What do you think about all this?
Kyler is gonna pull the headband of intellect free from his head. Not disattuned from it, but it has to be worn to work. And kind of is like, dude, I don't even know anymore. I had this run-in with this creepy janitor. And I think he was like my Obi-Wan, you know, like in that old movie. Like he was like
that
appearing...
really old movie.
Yeah, a really old movie. And I just think like, what's your ideal world like, Kronk? What's the best thing to when you're like, okay, this is my future. What do you want it to look like?
I guess I make a lot of people happy by doing things that I'm good at. And nobody's... I guess if I have to think about it on a bigger picture, I don't really want anybody to fight unless it's for fun. But
Yeah.
I didn't usually have to think of the bigger picture until now. And now I'm thinking a lot about the bigger picture.
The bigger picture can be nice, dude. You just kind of have to use your own brushstrokes. My picture's changed since like coming to the surface and stuff, like what I want. And I've gotten stronger, and I'm gonna get stronger. This whole thing with Sir True Arm doesn't change a damn thing about what I want to do. And it doesn't change a damn thing about what I think and it barely. I suppose it does change how I think about him a bit, but you got to try and weigh the good and bad.
Back in the when we were back talking to that Goliath sheriff man on one of our first adventures together, you laid out a really good argument about not accepting his deal because you didn't want to be in debt to someone who was bad. And it was really convincing. And I liked the way that your morals worked. And so I want to know, do you think that Avadar was right? He killed 6 people that were kings, and kings maybe would be happy to die for their people, right? To save 6 million of their people. It feels like the math should make sense on it, but I'm talking to Drazian, who usually is okay with killing people.
Yeah,
and Drazian's really not okay with it. Maybe it's just because he's a prince or a king or something, so he sees himself in that. But I don't know that that's it. Because everyone's very upset about it.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I don't know. I do know why he's upset, and it's because it's people he knew, and that's that kind of boils it down. That's why you can kind of do the, I don't know, the mathematics and kind of get the view that, well, some people deserve to die and some people don't, and I get to decide. And
yeah,
Kronk, I've killed people, like quite a lot.
I'm not.
I mean, not. And I am. I think what Avadar did was wrong because it's wrong. And I think some people think what Avadar did was wrong because of who it was. I don't think there's an acceptable loss.
So, if you were in that situation, would you have rather had those 6 million people die?
I would have rather had nobody die. But I get what you're saying. What I would have done is I would have joined the people, I guess. Because sometimes you do have to kill people. Sometimes you do have to hurt people, but can I
guess.
Can I tell you about when they came to us?
I'm sorry, yeah.
I mean, no, you go first.
No, I guess for somebody who says he's a pacifist, it doesn't make a lot of sense to get involved in something like that. Like, I understand to try to save people, but your whole thing is to not get involved with that.
I'm not a pacifist, unless you mean the professor.
I was talking about the pacifist, not you. The professor, not you.
I don't know. People don't see the world in black and white, it seems. And I think you and me do. If something's wrong, it's wrong. I know, man. Me too. Like, I don't. When they came to us, this, theocracy, it started with the coast and people like the turtles and the freshwater triton and the sea elves because they worship the deep one. And so they came to us, they run away, and they thought it might be a good idea to come at us for harboring them, for protecting them. And they came with these huge boats, and wanted to drop these bombs on us. And so we sunk those boats, pulled their bodies underwater where they couldn't breathe, and let them die. When you're gonna kill someone in cold blood with no provocation, no real provocation, no matter what, no matter if they're evil, no matter if they're whatever, that's wrong to me. But if they're gonna kill someone, their life matters slightly less in that moment. And so I think that if Avatar True Arm can waltz into 6 other countries and be gone like a thief in the night, and I didn't know about it. I don't know if my old man knows. I don't know if how many people know. Then he probably had it in him to take the hard option. You know what I'm saying? Like that was easy. It's easy. It's an easy sum to balance. 6 is less than 6 million. Like even I know that. It's an easy sum to balance. What's harder is your life against anyone else's. You know. Just do what you think's right, man. I'm not here to tell you. I'm here to show you. And if you can take a lead off me, I'm glad for it. I'm honored you trust me that much, dude. But I'm not here to tell anyone. I'm just here to show people.
All right. It was. I feel like I've come into a place where everything's very confusing. I used to be able to look at things in black and white, but now I've got like magic in my hands, and I don't know what that is. This isn't black and white, and I've got the person who's supposed to be in charge of my school that's killing people to save other people, but they weren't bad guys, but isn't killing the people that were gonna kill the other people. And I wonder why not kill those people instead. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of that. Oh, it's because of politics. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. I don't give a shit. Why you stop the people that are bad?
I agree. But also, Chris, it's gone.
I'm giving
Kronk,
look here. I don't need my computer to crash. All right.
Kronk, I'm with you, man. I am. But look, I think what Sir True Arm did was wrong. I'm with you on that. But then, how much right has he done? You know, like, he's saved thousands of lives.
I mean, you could say he saved millions of lives just for those.
Out with that. I mean,
I mean, he saved a lot of people just with this school, even. Like, I don't know if it even makes him a bad person that he's done that because of all the good that he's done elsewhere.
I don't think he's a bad person. I think if he was a bad person, we wouldn't be able to speculate if he was. We'd know. You know? When someone's that powerful, they can do what they want. Conk, have you ever heard the phrase power corrupts? And absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, it was part of somebody's entrance theme once is how I heard it. But but yeah, I've heard it.
It doesn't. It just shows you what they could do, you know? If you're like, I can do anything, you're not going to suddenly turn around. If you're like a good person and they're like, I want to do anything, you're not going to turn around and just kill everyone. But if you're a bad person, you would, right? If you're a good person, you can do anything you'd want to do. You would help people. And I think that's what he tried to do. I think he was wrong about how he did it. And part of me is always going to be upset about that, but I think he did what he thought was right. And until we can be as strong as Avid, our true arm, we're going to have to put a little bit of trust into him.
All right, but next time he invites us into his office, I'm gonna ask him about it because I don't particularly care if it's against the social rules to ask somebody about killing people. I feel like it's important. All right, I'm gonna cast a spell out of this wand under the ground, and then I'm gonna go.
I'll take you home, man. We need to get you
Alright.
packed. And then we need to go to New Lynette.
Oh, it's so good they named it twice, isn't it?
You betcha.
All right. And Kronk stands up, and he's been like twirling around this thing, and he just kind of looks around. There's a tree like 5 feet away. He's like, well, I'm getting expelled anyway, so... And he just kind of casts a charge of the Wand of Wonder at the tree.
Okay, go ahead and roll a 1d100 for me.
All right, you got it. Whoa. We got some slow. It crashed my. That's crazy, actually. It crashed
Do you want me
my D&D.
Just do unroll 20
I
real
rolled a
quick.
98 on the 1d100.
98. That's gonna be
Power word. Kill. On the tree.
Make like GB and
Eldritch
kill a fucking
Blast.
plant.
I can't even see what it is because it crashed my thing, but
I need to very quickly Google something.
uh-oh.
Oh no.
Do you want me to check the table for you, Chris?
Hang on, I'm checking. the
No,
table.
don't.
Okay.
You don't want me to check the table either?
Yep.
All right.
Hands are off the keyboard.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
Chris, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Oh, if you're within 10 feet, you get +5 as well.
Oh, sick. So that was a 23 that I rolled plus 5.
Okay, so 28.
Yeah.
You're
Hopefully that does it.
absolutely fine. As the spell is shot forward, bounces off of the tree, you watch as that small section of the tree becomes instantly hardened and petrified and turns to stone, and the spell bounces back towards you and hits you, but it hits a piece of like a loose rock on your skin and it just falls off.
Oh, that's the petrify one, isn't it?
If you failed the saving throw by 5 or more, you're instantly petrified. Any other failed save, you're restrained and you begin to turn fully to stone.
Well,
The petrification lasts until the target is freed by greater restoration or similar magic.
I only have lesser restoration.
I would
Wow.
fucking hell.
Gonna
You're
carry
the-
you to the infirmary.
Yeah.
Well, we're expelled, right? So it would have been.
True.
They're gonna let you die, though. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
So-
already made out of rock. See? A lot of grey area, even with magic. Anyway, can I ride your turtle?
Yeah, buddy. You can ride my turtle anytime.
Sounds fun.
So we'll say that you guys go back to the house, finish packing up your stuff. Before anybody leaves, Drazian, you find Calorus. Calorus agrees to look after Azuria for you for the next however long you may be away. As this happens, you introduce Calorus to Azuria. Calorus is now slightly more hesitant, but still agrees.
This is friend, not food.
Azuria just like telepathically chuckles, but like does a big, very toothy grin at Calorus.
Licks her lips.
Speaking of teeth, what's Eyebite doing during this whole thing?
Eyebite's just been out in the backyard, like rolling about in the dirt and digging holes,
Perfect. All right.
being a dog, you know. You each pack your bags containing whatever you may need for the journey ahead. Some spare clothes, any important knickknacks or anything that you carry with you. And you find yourselves on the way to the headquarters of the Paladins of Selenia.
Can I religion check selling you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
What
My
are they
guidance
selling
says
you
what?
this time?
Okay.
The
so it's
fucking
one.
path to salvation.
I've got the headband back on as well, so dirty 20.
Selenia is a pretty well-known river goddess within the White Fawn Kingdom.
She's a water goddess. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Specifically of like rivers and lakes, like contained bodies of water. It's said that she is kind of has blessed the lake that Aghalan is built upon, and that's why it doesn't overflow and flood the city, even though because the city itself is pretty close to the water, and like if there was one bad day of like the tide coming in, the majority of like the lower levels of Aghalan is fucked. So she helps prevent that. Other than that, she doesn't seem to be an overly powerful goddess of any sort. But yeah, you would have heard about her in passing during your like different studies of the different water gods and goddesses and deities.
Poseidon's a bitch.
As you all approach the Paladins of Selenia, their headquarters, you're met outside by a grizzled, slightly older woman. She seems to be in some sort of formal uniform. It kind of looks like dress blues.
Is she hot?
Oh, she's like Rhea Ripley, but 45.
Yeah, Kronk
Not a
is
deal
into it.
breaker.
Kronk is fucking over
Bronk is
the
fucking.
Kronk's like, hi, my name's Kronk. It's very nice to meet you, ma'am.
She
Hello.
like swings her arm and grabs your hand and shakes it, and it is a firm grip.
I think I've fallen in love with you. I'm sorry.
Well, son, I don't think that's gonna last too long. Unfortunately, you're only gonna be seeing me as I take you into the next area here. And as far as I know, I think there's another familiar face for you to see.
Thank you, Paladin.
Thank you. Do you have a pixie? Could I have it? Not the whole thing, but like the number for it. Could I? Oh my goodness.
You come back from this alive, and I'll give you my pixie.
Okay, not like the whole thing, but like the number.
I know what you meant.
Okay, yeah. Oh, all right. Thank you, ma'am.
Shagger.
She turns around.
Shoot your
And
shot.
she turns around and she walks like very straight forward, and there's no like she doesn't seem relaxed or anything like that. She doesn't seem like she's talking like, oh, so what do you guys do? She is business. She leads you through these headquarters, which for the most part doesn't even resemble anything similar to what you would imagine some sort of like guards watch or police station would be. This seems like just it almost seems like a community center. Like there's rooms of people.
YMCA.
There's rooms of people who are like sitting at like around desks, and they all seem to be learning from somebody who's speaking. there's this kind of large, open-faced like gym area where you can see a bunch of people working out. And you get walked past all of this, and down a darker corridor, down some stairs into the sub-level of this building, and up to a door that is locked with 5 different bolts. She takes out 5 keys and turns them one by one, and opens the door. As you walk in, Kyler, this is the kind of thing that you have dreamed about. You walk in, and wall to wall, backlit by these white crystals, is every manner of gadget and weapon that you could imagine. This is like James Bond's, like this is Q's laboratory that you're currently.
Hella.
This is what, whenever you have thought about, like, you know, I'm going to have my own armory whenever I'm the #1 like adventurer, this is the place that you have imagined.
Kyler's.
Geraldine, you look around and see some things that your family had a part in creating. But
Do
you're
I
not
know
sure if
any
it's-
particularly notable or funny names? Like they look like Kyler and Kronk are looking at any that I'm understandable with?
There's some basic ones which are like restrainer cuffs, which are
Hardly know her.
seem to be like normal cuffs, but whenever force is applied, like from the inside to the out, so like if someone tries to break out of them, they release a near lethal voltage of electricity to render the person from doing anything.
These render the person horny.
Literally.
Fluffy handcuffs. Is there any tridents or tapals?
No, unfortunately not.
I didn't think so. But...
There are a selection of swords and clubs and axes, but exotic weapons such as tridents, there doesn't seem to be any.
Handcuffs that do electric damage, that just sounds like an every night activity for Lilith and Drazian.
Is there any interesting like ranged weapons? So I'm not throwing around darts.
Kronk, there is one thing that catches your eye before anything else.
Oh.
There's a grappling hook gun.
A grappling hook gun.
That the moment you walk in, there's like maybe 20 seconds where you're like, whoa, look at all the... Oh, goodbye.
He's off to get the grappling hook gun.
Literally, before you finished explaining it, Kronk was off.
Yeah, there's like 20 seconds.
Grappling hook gun, and I was just like...
Out of here.
Rose.
Yeah, there's like 20 seconds where you're like, whoa, before your eyes land on it. It's this kind of beigey tan outside. Looks like it almost looks like a toy at first, until you look at it from a different angle, and then you see the grappling hook inside. And there's that moment of like childlike wonder that Kronk is used to. But it's like you found the coolest thing ever, and you're like, this is within my grasp.
I pick it up and look directly down the barrel.
Yeah. There's a trigger. You're gonna have to pull the trigger to set it off. So
I'm not
I have my thumb on the trigger, and I look at it.
I look around. I say, "Come on."
As you're about to put it away, you hear these heavy, thudding footsteps coming from around the corner of this room that you didn't realize had a corner, and you now realize it stretches around even further. And Kronk, possibly even cooler than the grappling hook, you hear a voice. a deep, gravelly voice, a familiar
It's
voice.
Still the grappling hook.
You hear,
It's right.
Silver gripper. Sorry.
"Hello, friends. It's been a while since I've seen you lot. I guess you're here to get something from my armory. How goes it?" And Kronk, you freeze and turn around, and standing there at 8'2" tall, a couple of inches taller than you, the shock of green stubbly hair, greyish sickly skin, two large protruding ears, a bulbous nose, and a smile that would make most people cry if it wasn't so friendly, is Vite the Fight, looking right at you in this kind of... He looks like he's in like an off-duty
Fight.
off-duty combat gear. It's like this fitted black muscle top, like black cargo trousers, and these huge, because of the size of him, these huge black combat boots. And he stands with his hands on his hips, and he looks and he goes, "Let's get you kitted out then."
Yeah,
And that's where we're going to end it.
Yeah,
this week. That's where we're going
Shopping
to end it.
invites Armory.
That's where we're going to end it for this week, and next week we're going to pick up with you guys getting to choose a couple of items each of your
Shopping episode.
yeah.
Shopping in a paladin's armory. What could possibly go wrong?
And as you guys are, you'll be doing that, you'll get a couple of items from Vite's armory to help you guys out. And next session, the journey to New Lynette starts. So, once again, bit of a longer session than normal. I think it went
We started late.
Yeah.
We started very late.
Yeah.
We started like 40 minutes late. Yeah.
We started like 40 minutes late, so what's that, 3.5 hours? Yeah.
Yeah, but
As that session ended, I'm quite happy with that. It was a little bit more roleplay intensive than I had planned, but you guys obviously took really well to what was happening this episode, and I'm happy about that. So next episode we'll get stuck into that. And Alaska, I don't know if you will be here. If you
I think I'll be a little late, but I will be here.
okay, no
We
problem.
may start late then if you can give us like a time rather. so we're
Okay,
not just
cool.
like-
I'll let you know when I look at my schedule.
And if not, then you can give Chris your shopping list for cool items for Lilith. And that'll be next week, folks. Thank you everybody for coming along and watching us. We consistently stayed pretty good viewers today. Let's go and share the love. Once again, happy Dragon Age Day. So you know what? Let's go and see if we can find somebody playing the Dragon Age board game. Because there's like a Dragon Age D&D thing that people do. So let's see.
Really?
Dragon Age RPG.
It's not Dragon Age Journeys, is it? Or Dragon Age Legends?
I think it might be Dragon Age Legends. Let me double check. No, Dragon Age Legends is a Dragon Age MMORPG. Yeah, that's weird. Let's see.
I follow who's playing Dragon Age Inquisition. Is doing a fundraiser for the Trans Empowerment Project right now.
It's pretty based. There is
Yeah.
a couple D&D channels we follow live as well. If anyone's
you know,
recommend.
because it's Dragon Age Day, and because trans rights are human rights, and
Based.
if you can, always like support. If you can't monetarily support, there's always other ways that you can help out. So please do. So yeah, why don't you put the name in the chat, Chris, and we will raid out to them.
Yeah. stick a name in chat, then I can do a big raid out.
Sure thing. I'll drop the Twitch.
Oh, that Natalie.
And just before we go, I would like to say thank you very much to everybody for coming. Thank you very much for everybody here playing. Thank you very much to everybody who needs to be thanked. Please take your medication if you haven't already. Please take care of yourself. There's another week ahead, and we'd love to see you all back here next week. And for me personally, thank you very much, and I love you so, so much, my dear darling wife, for bringing me cookies and milk. And she is the one that every single week makes sure that I am not burnt out and I'm in the headspace to come and tell these stories for you guys. So everybody say thank you, Alex.
Thank you,
Said
Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right, okay. Rating out. The raid has
Okay.
been created.
So we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. This will be good. This is wrong by the time you guys see it, so bye.
Adios. Bye.